This afternoon is a motion on the consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Health regarding alleged discrimination, interference and violation of clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors and the Social Health Authority. The Speaker of the House is already in the chamber this afternoon. Allow me to hand over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
Mwenyezi Mungu, twakusihi tutazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Twakuomba utuajalie tuyatende na kufikia mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amen. Clerk, do we have quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
Well, the business of the Senate has commenced with the proceedings being presided over by the Speaker of the House. But upon the commencement, we have a small quorum hitch that will be addressed courtesy of that quorum bell that is currently on ring mode, following the directive by the Speaker, guided by the House standing orders on matters quorum upon the commencement of business. We require a number of senators, at least 15, to be in the chamber for the House to proceed with the consideration of business before it. Before I handed you over for this live broadcast, I was just informing you of some of the business lined up for consideration. And away from the report of the Standing Committee on Health, following a petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding the alleged discrimination and violation of their rights. The other business lined up is a resumption of debate on the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 2 of the year 2026. The Division of Revenue Bill is a bill or law that provides for a framework of disbursement of funds to devolved units. The debate on the bill kicked off for the better part of yesterday, with senators disagreeing with the proposal by the National Assembly that has proposed 420 billion shillings, an increase of 5 billion shillings from the last financial year. In the last financial year, the House allocated 415 billion shillings. So this year, in the Division of Revenue Bill number 2, the National Assembly has proposed 420 billion shillings, but members at the Senate have vowed to push for 450 billion shillings. We'll be seeing how that debate will be panning out and whether this Division of Revenue Bill will be headed for mediation in the event that the House fails to completely agree with the proposals by the National Assembly. The approval sittings of the Senate to be held in Kilifi County is among the business being given priority at the Senate this afternoon. And in this motion, the Senate leader of the majority party is seeking to have the Senate resolve to hold its plenary and committee sittings in Kilifi County from the 21st to the 25th day of September, the year being 2026. These plenary sittings being held in Kilifi, popularly called Senate Mashinani sessions. We have had a number of successful Senate plenaries being held across a number of devolved units. This is in Uasin Gishu County, Kitui, Turkana, and recently last year, Senate Mashinani was in Busia County. And the whole purpose, my dear viewer, of holding Senate plenary sittings in the grassroots, this case being the expectation that the sittings will be held in Kilifi County. The whole purpose is to promote the role and the work of the Senate and enhance public awareness regarding the business of the House and Parliament in general. The sittings also highlight existing and new opportunities for engagement in the legislative process, as well as developing and strengthening partnerships at county levels of government. These Senate Mashinani sessions also provide an opportunity for members of staff to interact with members at the county assembly, as well as at the grassroots level. Allow me to hand you over for this live broadcast. Enjoy your viewing.
To communication from the chair.
Now, honorable senators, I have a communication to make regarding the operationalization of the Titan Multimedia Congress System. As you may recall, the Titan Multimedia Congress System was installed during the recess between December 2025 and February 2026 to manage the various aspects of Senate proceedings in plenary. The installation of the new chamber system was necessitated by persistent system challenges experienced with the former Braille Congress system, which had become obsolete after its use for over 10 years. I have issued several communications in this regard, seeking to appraise the House of the status of installation and configuration of the system. You will also recall that on Tuesday, 10th of February 2026, the Office of the Clerk organized a briefing session for honorable senators to familiarize themselves with the operation of the system. Now, honorable senators, as you will further recall, several senators rose on points of order after I issued a communication in the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 22nd of April 2026, regarding the use of additional features of the newly installed chamber system. The senators raised concern on, inter alia, the accessibility of documents, on delegate units, overall use and navigation of the system, as well as data protection with respect to collection, use, storage of biometric data. After listening to the concerns by honorable senators, I undertook to engage the Office of the Clerk and the service providers on the matter, and thereafter issue further directions. Honorable senators, on the issue of collection, use and storage of senators' biometric data, I would like to draw your attention to a letter reference CAN/DLPS /Co/2026/02 and dated 10th of February 2026 from the Clerk of the Senate to all honorable senators. The letter addresses the concerns on the data protection and, among other things, assures that biometric data will be used for secure authentication and chamber access, be stored in secure local server within the Senate ICT infrastructure, and be permanently deleted at the end of the senator's term. On the other matters raised by senators, I wish to reiterate the installation and configuration process for the system is still ongoing. The service providers are on site undertaking necessary systems configurations and installing appropriate software updates to suit the needs of the Senate. Nevertheless, following the consultation with the Office of the Clerk and the service providers, a Kamkunji will be convened next week on Wednesday, 6th of May 2026 at 1 p.m., where the contract implementation team responsible for the installation of the chamber system and the service providers will respond to all issues as highlighted by honorable senators. I thank you. Honorable senators, you may take your seats. Senator Hamida, kindly take your seat. Honorable Senators, as you will recall, I issued a communication yesterday, Tuesday, 28th of April, 2026, inviting you to attend the official launch of the first edition of the annotated Senate standing orders and 3 other publications on the mediation process during the 11th and 12th Parliaments, the process of allocation of revenue to county governments between the 2013-2014 and 2021-2022 financial years, and the impeachment processes in the Senate from 2013 to 2022. Now, following further consultation, I take this opportunity to inform you that the launch ceremony will commence at 12 noon tomorrow, Thursday, 30th of April 2026, at the Parliament Restaurant Garden. Now, Honorable Senators, this will be a momentous occasion for the Senate because for the first time in the history of Parliament of Kenya, the annotated versions of the standing orders will be published. Collectively, these publications provide a comprehensive reference regarding the role and work of the Senate. They serve as a valuable resource for the general public, parliamentary officers, scholars, and researchers interested in legislative procedures and practices. In addition, the publications promote transparency and accountability, serve as authoritative records of the Senate procedures, support public participation and informed citizenship, as well as contribute to institutional memory, continuity, and further research. I urge all honorable senators to come and take pride in the work of the Senate. I thank you. Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Senator Kajwang, kindly take your seat. Now, honorable senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 463 and 4, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the Public Service, Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 46 of 2022. The message, dated Thursday, 23rd of April 2026, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Friday, 24th of April 2026. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.5, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 148B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Thursday, 26th of October 2023, the National Assembly passed the Public Service, Values and Principles Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 46 of 2022, with amendments, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on Thursday, 21st of March 2024, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly for reconsideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(a) of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Wednesday, 19th of November 2025, the National Assembly considered and rejected the Senate amendments to the said bill, consequently committing the bill to a mediation committee pursuant to the provisions of Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Order 149(1)(a) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 5 honorable senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution. Now, honorable senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution: the Honorable Omboko Milemba, the Honorable Rahim Dawood, the Honorable Rahab Mukami, the Honorable Doris Ndonya, and the Honorable Fatuma Jeho. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166-2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate majority and minority leaders, I will, at the appropriate time, appoint senators to the mediation committee. Again, Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46-3, I have received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of 2023. The message, dated Thursday, 23rd of April 2026, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Friday, 24th of April 2026. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46-4, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 148B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Thursday, 5th of December 2024, the Senate passed the Fire and Rescue Services Professionals Bill, Senate Bills number 55 of 2023, with amendments, and referred it to the National Assembly for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Wednesday, 18th of February 2026, the National Assembly rejected the motion for second reading of the said bill, consequently committing it to a mediation committee pursuant to the provisions of Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Order 149(b) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 7 honorable senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution. Honorable senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Peter Lochekapong, the Honorable Liza Chelule, the Honorable Joseph Munyoro, the Honorable Charo Kazungu, the Honorable Esther Pesaris, the Honorable Fatuma Zainab, and the Honorable Jared Okello. Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166-2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will, at the appropriate time, appoint the senators to the mediation committee. Further, Honorable Senators, I wish to report to the Senate that pursuant to Standing Order 46-3, I have received a message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bills number 7 of 2024. The message, dated Thursday, 23rd of April 2026, was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Friday, 24th April 2026. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46-4, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41-1 and 148B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Tuesday, 3rd December 2024, the National Assembly considered and passed the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024, with amendments, and referred it to the Senate for consideration pursuant to the provisions of Article 110(4) of the Constitution. And whereas on Wednesday, 12th of November 2025, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly for reconsideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b), 1A of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Tuesday, 14th of April 2026, the National Assembly rejected the motion for consideration of the Senate amendments to the said bill, consequently committing the bill to a mediation committee pursuant to the provisions of Article 112(2)(b) of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112(1)(b) of the Constitution and Standing Order 149(1)(b) of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 9 senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution. Now, Honorable Senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the Mediation Committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Marianne Kitani, the Honorable Dr. Beatrice Adagala, the Honorable Joshua Mwalio, the Honorable Robert Kishimo, the Honorable John Buire, the Honorable Ali Wario, the Honorable Anthony Olwoch, the Honorable Joyce Kamene, and the Honorable Dr. Oundo Ojiambo. Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166-2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will, at the appropriate time, appoint senators to the Mediation Committee. Lastly, I wish to report, Honorable Senators, that pursuant to Standing Order 46.3 and 4, I have received the following message from the Speaker of the National Assembly regarding the decision of the National Assembly on the Senate amendments to the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bills number 59 of 2022. The message dated Thursday, 23rd of April 2026 was received in the office of the Clerk of the Senate on Friday, 24th April 2026. Now, pursuant to Standing Order 46.5, I now report the message. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 41.1 and 148B of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the following message from the National Assembly. Whereas on Thursday, 26th of October 2023, the National Assembly passed the National Construction Authority Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 59 of 2022, with amendments, and thereafter referred the bill to the Senate for consideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 110.4 of the Constitution. And whereas on Thursday, 19th of November 2024, the Senate considered and passed the said bill with amendments and referred it back to the National Assembly for reconsideration in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.1a of the Constitution. Further, whereas on Wednesday, 18th of June 2025, the National Assembly considered and rejected the Senate amendment to the said bill, consequently committing the bill to a mediation committee pursuant to the provisions of Article 112.2b of the Constitution. Now, therefore, in accordance with the provisions of Article 112.1b of the Constitution and Standing Order 149.1a of the National Assembly Standing Orders, I hereby convey the said decision to of the National Assembly to the Senate and seek the appointment of 7 honorable senators to a mediation committee to consider the bill in accordance with the provisions of Article 113 of the Constitution. Honorable Senators, consequent to the said decision, the Speaker of the National Assembly appointed the following members of the National Assembly to the Mediation Committee to consider the bill in accordance with Article 113 of the Constitution. The Honorable Rindikiri Murithania, the Honorable Jen Kagiri, the Honorable John Wanjiku, the Honorable Joseph Chirorot, the Honorable Zamzam Mohammed, the Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, and Honorable C.S. Irene Mayaka. Now, Honorable Senators, pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 166.2 of the Senate, and in consultation with the Senate Majority Leader and the Senate Minority Leader, I will, at the appropriate time, appoint senators to the Mediation Committee. I thank you, Honorable Senators. Next order. Yes, Senator for Homa Bay.
Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the very detailed communication that you have made that stems from Standing Order 46. I just wanted to request the Speaker and the Secretariat to ensure that those detailed communications from the Chair are also made available to senators on these devices. Because, Mr. Speaker, your detailed report to this House coming from the National Assembly indicates that there will be a time when there will be more mediation committees than standing committees in this House. From your communication, I think there will be about 4 or 5 mediation committees just in one day. So probably this could be made available to us so that we can refer to them. They are a very, very important basis for bicameral relations. And Mr. Speaker, I believe that even those senators have had, it would be important for us to have that record for future reference. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
It's a valid concern. It's noted. Next order.
Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers.
Chairperson, Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology. Senator Alan Chisang. Doctor.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I beg to lay the following paper on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, 29th April 2026. Report of the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology on its consideration of the Electronic Equipment Disposal, Recycling and Reusable Bill, Senate Bills number 5 of 2025.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
The Vice Chairperson, Mediation Committee.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to give notice of the following motion. That the Senate adopts the report of Mediation Committee on National Disaster Risk Management Bill, National Assembly Bill number 24 of 2023, laid on the table of the Senate on Tuesday, 28 April 2026, and that pursuant to Article 113 of the Constitution and Standing Order 1673 of the Senate, approves the mediated version of the bill. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Now, before I call honorable senators to request for statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, allow me to make this communication. Senator Montet and Senator Issa Boy, take your seats, please. Now, honorable senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon a visiting delegation of 21st Congress members of the Kenyatta University Association, KUSA. The delegation comprises 69 students who are visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. Now, on behalf of the Senate, on my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Kiambu County and 1 minute to extend a word of welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to welcome students from Kenyatta University, that is KUSA, to the Senate. This is the Senate, the upper house that is tasked to oversee and protect the interests of the county counties, that is pursuant to Article 96 of the Constitution. I take this opportunity to welcome you as the Senator of Kiambu, and on behalf of the Senate, that your time here, you will have to learn a lot from what we do, both at the chambers and probably also behind the scenes with our staff and everyone. And we are not always as quiet as we are today, but we are not yet there, so you can stick around. We have a few motions and bills that will make almost everyone stand. So don't go that fast. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator from Busia County, the Honorable Okia Omtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you. My request for a statement is on the regulation of technical and vocational education and training, that's TVET institutions in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, Clause 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Education on a matter of national concern regarding the regulation and compliance of technical and vocational education and training, in brackets TVET, institutions in the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are growing concerns over the emergence of institutions offering accredited programs, misrepresenting certifications and international partnerships, and making questionable employment guarantees, thereby exposing students and parents to potential exploitation and undermining the integrity of the TVET subsector. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the number of institutions registered and accredited by the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authority, including their current accreditation status and approved programs. 2, the measures in place to identify, regulate, and act against non-compliant institutions, including those operating without accreditation or offering unapproved programs, and data on enforcement actions undertaken in the last 3 years. 3, the regulatory framework governing program accreditation, certification, and the conduct of assessments, including safeguards against misrepresentation of qualifications. 4, the legal and institutional framework governing partnerships with international bodies and employment facilitation by TVET institutions, including licensing requirements and the oversight mechanisms. Signed, Andrew Omtata, MP, Senator from Busia, 25th March 2026. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Senator for Taita Taveta County, the Honorable Maruma. That statement is dropped. The Honorable Alan Chesang.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on Information, Communication and Technology on a matter of national-wide concern regarding the concerns raised by Kenyan content creators on monetization practices and revenue sharing mechanism on X, particularly in relation to fairness, transparency, and equitable participation in the digital economy. Mr. Speaker, sir, the digital economy increasingly drives employment and income, especially among Kenyan youth engaged in content creation across global digital platforms. However, concerns have emerged from Kenyan creators about earnings on X and the transparency and structure of its monetization systems. This issue raises policy and regulatory questions within the Kenyan Information and Communication Act 1998 and National Digital Economy strategies. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the nature, structure, and transparency of X monetization and revenue sharing mechanisms covering eligibility criteria, payout models, factors influencing earnings, and how revenue is calculated.
What is your point of order, Senator Kinyua?
Mr. Speaker, the Senator for Trans Nzoia is the chairman of ICT. I thought he doesn't need to do a statement. They can do that from their committee, suo moto. They don't need to move this out. They can just do it at the committee. I just wanted your clarification, Chair, whether the committee can always get statements here for them to do their work.
Senator Alan Chesang, proceed to conclude, please. Take your seat, Senator.
I just want your guidance, Chair.
Just take your seat. That's my guidance.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the statement, the committee should address the following: the nature, structure, and transparency on X monetization and revenue sharing mechanisms, covering eligibility criteria, payout models, factors influencing earnings, and how revenue is calculated and distributed to Kenyan creators, alongside any regional or platform-specific variations affecting earnings and comparisons with platforms such as YouTube and Facebook. Number 2, the extent of government engagement with X on monetization practices, including discussions involving the Ministry of Information, Communications and the Digital Economy and the Communication Authority of Kenya, their outcomes, the presence of any local compliance structures and available dispute resolution mechanisms. Number 3, whether the government has assessed the economic contribution of Kenyan digital content creators across platforms such as X, YouTube, and Facebook, and the extent to which participation translates into income for users. And finally, number 4, Mr. Speaker, the policy, regulatory, and collaborative measures under consideration nationally and through regional and international bodies such as the East African Community and African Union to promote fair, transparent, and sustainable monetization opportunities for Kenyan digital content creators. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator for Kitui County, Honorable Enoch.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have two statements. And the first statement, Mr. Speaker, is a request for a statement on human-wildlife conflict in Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Senate Standing Committee on Lands, Environment, and Natural Resources on a matter of county-wide concern regarding human-wildlife conflicts in Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, sir, elephants have increasingly caused havoc and extensive destruction of crops, property, and livelihoods in several areas in Kitui County. The most recent incident occurred on Saturday, 25th of April 2026 at Ngali village in Elamba sublocation, Simis location, where a lady, Miss Kaviti Maedhia, was attacked by a stray elephant at around 7 p.m. at Ngali Shopping Center, where she operated a kiosk. She sustained multiple fractures and internal injuries and succumbed to the injuries while undergoing treatment at Kitui County Hospital the following morning. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the reasons for the lack of adequate mechanisms to prevent elephants from encroaching into residential areas and persistently invading homes, thereby posing security threats to residents of Kitui County. 2, the compensation process for the family of Ms. Kaviti Maithia, and a report on all pending human-wildlife conflict compensation claims in Kitui County, the reasons for delay in payment, and the expected timelines for settling outstanding claims. And number 3, the strategies currently in place by the Kenya Wildlife Service and other relevant agencies to mitigate persistent human-wildlife conflict caused by elephants, and an explanation of why adequate action has not been taken to protect both elephants and local communities despite recurring invasions. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I will read the second statement. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this is a request for statement on the killings of 8 people by bandits in Sikuru Ward and a schoolboy in Guni Ward of Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense, and Foreign Relations on a matter of county-wide concern regarding the horrific killing of 7 people in Kwakamari, Sikuru Ward, Kitui County, by bandits on Saturday, 25th April 2026, and the killing of a schoolboy in Okasi, Gune Ward, Kitui County, by bandits on Tuesday, 28th April 2026. The Speaker, 7 people were brutally murdered in Kwakamari's Sikuru Ward, Kitui County, by bandits on Saturday, April 25th, 2026. A couple of weeks earlier, a young man was murdered by bandits masquerading as Kamo others in the same ward. Only yesterday, Mr. Speaker, yet another schoolboy, James Mutemi, of Keo Village in Okasi of Mwingi Central Constituency, was slashed into pieces by bandits as he was herding the family livestock. This latest incident has triggered chaos on the Garissa-Mwingi Road, with enraged residents blocking Garissa-Nairobi-bound buses demanding justice. A wrong but very dangerous impression is being created, Mr. Speaker, that the Kamba and the Somali communities are at war. The ball is in the court of the national security apparatus to nip this perception in the bud before the situation gets out of control. The people of Kitui County continue to suffer repeated attacks, yet responses remain casual and reactionary. Casual statements being made suggesting that people should vacate game reserves in the county or that wild animals will be introduced in the reserves trivialize a very serious security problem. In the statement, Mr. Speaker, the committee should address the following. 1, the measures undertaken by the Ministry of Interior and National Police Service to apprehend the perpetrators of the Seikuru killings and stop further attacks in Kitui County. Number 2, the plans in place to ensure adequate security personnel and resources are deployed to protect residents of Seikuru, Gomeni, and Aumalalani, Moda, and Kanziku wards, among other affected borders border areas in Kitui County. Number 3, the immediate and long-term strategies being implemented to curb banditry and cross-border incursions by camo herders, including coordinated regional security operations. Number 4, clarification on the operational jurisdiction of county security officers when criminals flee into neighboring counties, and how inter-county and regional coordination is being strengthened to ensure effective pursuit and apprehension of culprits. Number 5, the comprehensive plan for a lasting solution to banditry in Kitui County, beyond casual pronouncements, including escalation to regional security bosses, to formulate a coordinated action plan to apprehend the culprits and dismantle their networks. And lastly, compensation and support mechanisms for the victims' families, including livelihood restoration and psychosocial support for affected communities. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The honorable senators will allow comments for not more than 15 minutes on the statements that have been sought. If you get an opportunity to comment, kindly keep it under 3 minutes. The Honorable Tabitha Mutenda.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Mr. Speaker, I rise to make comments on the statement by Senator Enoch Wambua in regards to the massacre happening in my mother's county, the great county of Kitui, Mr. Speaker. It is sad, Mr. Speaker, that as a country we can be on this floor of this house discussing such matters where our people are being killed. We are all Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. And this matter is a matter that has been going on for years and years. The people of Kitui County have spoken, Mr. Speaker, and they have said that national security should go down and ensure that they address the matters, because the matters are in the public domain. The issues that are happening are in the public domain. It is so sad that we can have a community killing another community. Mr. Speaker, the Kamba community, Mr. Speaker, is the most humble community, among the most humble communities in this country. Is the most courteous communities in this country, the most hardworking communities in this country, and a community that accommodates all across. Even from political affiliations, Mr. Speaker, we've cut across the board, both in government, in opposition, and we work very well, Mr. Speaker. It is sad that today, as one of the most trusted communities, Mr. Speaker, our people of Kitui County will be undergoing what they are undergoing. I had a man ask a question to the senator of Kitui. When the senator asked, why are you killing our people? And the gentleman said, just 2 people? Mr. Speaker, every life is important. Every life matters, Mr. Speaker. And it is the high time, Mr. Speaker, as I conclude, so that I give my other colleagues to be able to put in a word, we need the Minister for Security, none other than Senator Murkomen, to be able to fasten and go down to this region and be able to remove, and the key word is to remove what is causing this problem to the people and the great people of Kitui County. Mr. Speaker, I submit.
Senator Mothama.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity. I want to comment on the three statements, two from Senator Wambua and Senator Omtata. Mr. Speaker, this issue of Kitui and the bandits has been on for so long. Since I joined the Senate last term, Senator Wambua every time has a statement for the issue of bandits and these people being killed or animals being stolen. Mr. Speaker, it's a high time for the CS for Interior to put, and the government of Kenya to put a permanent solution to the issues of the bandits in Kitui and that border. It is doable. We have all the security. We have all what it takes for the Kitui people to live in peace. And the government has a right to protect every citizen of this country. So, Mr. Speaker, I would request the committee of the committee concerned, Interior, to really take action and go to Kitui and do what is necessary for Kitui people to live at peace. Those people don't even have time to rest peacefully because they are fearing bandits might be coming the next minute. So, Mr. Speaker, I comment on the second one on wildlife. Wildlife conflicts and human conflict is too much. And these people are taking too long to compensate the people after they've been killed. Mr. Speaker, I keep on receiving phone calls from my people from Masinga, Machakos County. People are being terrorized by crocodiles and hippos and wildlife. And many of them have been killed. And from 2014 to date, only 16 people have been compensated. We are talking of people who are killed from 2016, 2014, 2015, and have never been compensated. And so we are asking for the ministry concerned and KWS to take action and compensate people and also protect the people. I thank God for the tourism, the ministry, which has also put a fence at Donyo Sabuk, Kilimambogo, Donyo Sabuk Game Reserve. But there are living gaps where also some animals are going through still to terrorize the people. I'm asking for the ministry concerned to put that fence completely so that hyenas will not come down from the game reserve to terrorize my people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Methu.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for giving me an opportunity to comment on the statements that have been sought. Mr. Speaker, sir, whatever is happening down there in the county of Kitui to our cousins from the lower eastern region, Madam Speaker, is an extremely sad situation, Madam Speaker. And I think, and I like what has been put in this statement by the Senator for Kitui. I sympathize with you, Senator for Kitui, because the way some people want to trivialize such a serious security situation, Mr. Speaker, is an extremely sad thing. Of the many things that Senator Charargei has ever said on the floor of this House, I think I now finally and formally agree with him when he says that the Cabinet Secretary for Interior is followed and is a testimony that incompetence cannot be substituted. And one thing that he has ever said, that incompetence was seen when he was in the Ministry of Roads, incompetency followed him when he went to the Ministry of Sports, And incompetency has followed him now, Mr. Speaker, in the Ministry of Interior, Madam Speaker. Unfortunately, we can stand if our sports sometimes does not work. We can stand if there's a pothole or a problem in roads, Madam Speaker. But what can we say about 7 people being killed in one day, one night, Mr. Speaker? Maybe I've said something that these people don't like, but I've not spoken for 3 minutes. Certainly. I don't know why the crack is. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be that we have not had any comment, and I want the Senator for Kitui to challenge me. We have not even had a comment, just one comment for the Minister for Interior. In a democracy that would be working, the Cabinet Secretary should have at least even given the people of Kitui the comfort of telling them, this is exactly what we are doing, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why I keep calling you Madam Speaker. I think it's because I speak after you have left most of the times. Mr. Speaker, sir, if you look at what has been given to, as an answer to the Senator for Kitui, that people should leave game reserves. You know, this is such a sad answer, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, these are people who have lived in Seikuru. I was there down, that route over the weekend, Mr. Speaker. This is a place these people have called home all their lives, Mr. Speaker. And they are now being told that you have to vacate just because some people, and incompetence is being seen. Mr. Speaker, this country is descending to something that we cannot stand. This country is descending into levels that we have never seen. On one side, the citizens are crying about this country becoming a good nation. On the other side, even citizens who are peaceful, somebody has said that Kabas are very peaceful. The most peaceful citizens, Mr. Speaker, cannot enjoy quality of life. I don't know how I will stop calling you Madam Speaker. Are not enjoying quality of life, Mr. Speaker. 7 people are being killed one night. I've seen on the 25th of April, 7 people are killed. Nothing has been said by the Minister for Interior. Nothing has been said by the PS for Interior. Nothing has been said by the National Police Service. But they are always very available, Mr. Speaker, to come and throw tear gas in our meetings, Mr. Speaker. Where are these policemen to protect life and property of the people of Kenya, Mr. Speaker? It cannot be that they are always very present when they are being sent to go and deal with political problems. But they cannot protect life and they cannot protect property of the people of Kenya. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Ogola.
Honorable Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity. I want to really feel with the people of Kitui and to condole with our brother, Senator Enoch Wambua. Honorable Speaker, we need not to lose any life. And it is not imaginable to say that 8 people have been killed by bandits. Who are these bandits, Honorable Speaker? In this republic, Honorable Speaker, we have an investigative arm that is able to even detect issues before they come, Honorable Speaker. It is pathetic that the people of Kitui are mourning today over some loss. Honorable Speaker, there must be reasons behind these killings. And we want to say, Honorable Speaker, that as we deal with the death, the loss of these noble people of Kitui, what is behind this massive killing must be brought to book, Honorable Speaker. And it is for that reason, Honorable Speaker, that I keep on mourning the loss of one Raila Amolo Odinga. That at the last, one of the last functions that Raila Amolo Odinga attended, he made it very clear that as a nation, let us think as Kenyans. Let us stop this primitive thinking of community to community. I say this, Honorable Speaker, because Senator Wambua said that this killing is done by one community against the other. Honorable Speaker, we are one human nation. If you cut yourself, we have the same blood groups. And so we should never lose life for whatever reason. And the committee that will be handling this must focus on the causes of this death. Honorable Speaker, I also want to comment on the human-wildlife conflict and to say that as we talk about compensation, the compensation must also be timely. In my constituency along the River Kuja, there's often loss of lives in a village called Bungu Manyoro. A number of students, a number of mothers, a number of people have lost their lives. And we are calling on the county government of Homa Bay also provide water to the people of Bungu Manyoro so that women don't have to go to the rivers to look for water where there are crocodiles and they keep on losing their lives. Honorable Speaker, I support this statement.
Senator Essie Kanyuri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Umtata on TVETA and regulation. Mr. Speaker, while I support accreditation and all that pertains having institutions which are qualified to conduct whatever training they are doing, I feel that on the issue of the Kenya Institute of Management, there is a problem, Mr. Speaker, because it's been for almost 10 years. Where was TVETA when the Kenya Institute of Management was conducting the training, awarding certificate to students, Mr. Speaker? Where does the fate of the many staff members, graduates, learners at the moment lie, Mr. Speaker? And I think let the issue of Kenya Institute of Management not be the eye-opener, but we have so many other issues of similar to this, whereby we just have the TVET authority just come up and cancel accreditation, and the matter just lies down like it is a small matter. So I feel the committee that is going to look into this matter needs to go down deeper so that we are not losing many students who acquired certificates, paid school fees, and now their fate is just out there, Mr. Speaker. So Senator Umtata's statement is a very serious statement, which I think we need to look at, especially when we are talking about education matters and acquisition of skills, Mr. Speaker, in this country. I thank you.
Senator Osotsi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to comment on the statement by Senator Alan Chesang on the monetization of content creators on X. Mr. Speaker, I've read the statement, and I think this is the kind of statement that we just add pain to the content creators. Content creators are already paying taxes. We have the digital service tax, which is 1.5% of the money that they get from content creation. There is also the VAT for digital services of 16%. So the information the senator is seeking will basically be information that can easily lead to more taxation to content creators. And you know, these content creators are young people who earn from online media because they can't get jobs. So I want to ask Senator Chesang to be very careful with the kind of information he's asking to get, because it is going to tighten government control over use of digital media, and therefore more pain to the youth who are jobless. And in any case, Mr. Speaker, this information is available. I think you can get this information from X or from YouTube or all the other social media platforms. But the direction and the tone of this statement is basically to ignite the interest by the National Treasury to tax content creators even more. I think that direction will not be a direction to support the youth of this country. I want to ask the Committee of ICT, when looking at this statement, to be careful so that they do not create that interest in trying to tighten control over usage of digital space for self-employment by our youth. I know there are a number of initiatives that CAK has put in place on this matter. Let it rest there. But pushing it harder, I don't see that is the direction that are going to support the youth of this country. We want content creators to earn more. The pricing structure is standard globally. It is not specific to any single country. But I just want to discourage the issue of trying now to look at the youth who use social media as a source of tax revenue. That is going to demoralize the youth who are not in employment and have gone to social media to try and make earnings. So, Mr. Speaker, I just wanted that to be heard. As an expert in this industry, I don't think this is the direction that we should take as a country. We must instead enhance social media creators' economy so that we have so many of our young people making money online and not trying to discourage them through taxation or initiatives that are going to make the government to have tighter control over social media platform. Mr. Speaker, that was just my comment on that statement. Thank you.
Senator Kenywa.
Asante Bwana Spika. Nataka kuchangia taarifa iliyoletwa na seneta wa Kitui kuhusu uvamizi na kushambuliwa na kuuawa kwa wananchi wa Kitui. Bwana Spika, wakati tunapounda serikali yoyote, jukumu lake kubwa ni kulinda mali na maisha ya wananchi. Bwana Spika, ni jambo la kuvunja moyo sana Bwana Spika kusikia ya kwamba katika sehemu ya kwa Kamari kuliuawa watu 7, na kabla yake wiki kadhaa zilizopita kulikuwa kumeuawa kijana aliyekuwa malishoni, na ni jana tu Bwana Spika kijana ambaye anaitwa Mutemi alishambuliwa na kuuawa, na si kuuawa peke yake Bwana Spika, kukatakatwa. Waziri wa usalama alituambia kwamba yeye mwenyewe huwa anajua mahali watu wamelala, vile wanavyoota Bwana Spika, na hawezi kuzuia hawa wananchi wa Kitui kushambuliwa na kuuawa Bwana Spika. Vijisababu ambavyo vinapeanwa Bwana Spika ni kuambia watu wahame katika mbuga za wanyama Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, tuna hofu Bwana Spika, tuna uchungu Bwana Spika, wale ambao tunawakilisha ikiwa watashambuliwa na kuuawa hivi Bwana Spika. Mimi nakisia ya kwamba Bwana Spika, huyu waziri tulionaye wa usalama Bwana Spika pengine ni kipofu, haoni Bwana Spika yanayoendelea katika nchi ya Kenya. Bwana Spika, pengine ni bubu, hasikii yale mambo ambayo yanatendeka katika Jamhuri ya Kenya Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, nimesikia
Senator Kenywa, bubu na kusikia inaingiliana wapi?
Bwana Spika, kama madaktari Bwana Spika, ukiongea na daktari atakwambia wengi wa mabubu vile vile ni viziwi Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo nasema ni bubu kwa sababu hajaongea jambo lolote kuhusu jambo linalotendeka pale Kitui Bwana Spika. Nilimuona juzi baada ya maafa hayo kutokea Kitui, yeye moja kwa moja nilimuona Ravin katika harambee akiimba tuta Bwana Spika. Hiyo siyo jambo ambalo amechaguliwa kufanya. Yeye amechaguliwa kutenda kazi kulinda maisha ya wananchi wa Kenya na vile vile mali ya wananchi wa Kenya. Bwana Spika, namuona Senator Ososi hapa alichapwa kichapo cha mbwa kuingia msikitini. Wale waliompiga hakuna hata mmoja ameshikwa Bwana Spika.
Senator Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, allow me to comment on the very unfortunate statement by my leader of my Deputy Leader of Minority, Senator Wambua. Mr. Speaker, charity must begin at home. Yesterday, our very valiant policemen and women came back from Haiti, where they went and contained gang violence. But we cannot be fixing Haiti if we cannot fix problems back in Kenya. Mr. Speaker, 7 lives is too many. In fact, there's an emerging theory in this country that if you want action from the national government, kill a politician. If you want action, beat up a politician. If you want action, raid the property of a politician. That's when action will be taken. Mr. Speaker, 7 lives is too much. Not too far back in Todonyang, in the county of my friend here, Senator from Turkana, 42 people were killed. And every time they're killed, they're called tribal warfare, cultural practices. Mr. Speaker, this is crime. And Mr. Speaker, the right to life that is enshrined in this constitution, that right must be guaranteed by the state, failure to which Kenyans shall revert back to the right to self-defense. And Mr. Speaker, even though arrows are flying, spears are flying, and machetes are being used, Mr. Speaker, this country must know that a gun is not rocket science. Today you can print a gun using a 3D printer. What stops the antagonist or the protagonist from printing guns or from procuring guns? And when that happens, Mr. Speaker, it will be anarchy. This state will fall. And so I want to urge the national government to take this matter seriously and avoid the knee-jerk reactions that we always have that give the impression that the political class is far more important than the people who have put us in these positions. I want to send my condolences to the people who have been affected and urge for speedy reconciliation and urge the leadership to talk to the affected parties to ensure that we de-escalate. But the ultimate responsibility lies in the hands of the state. Mr. Speaker, allow me also to comment on Senator Omtata's statement. In 2022, I brought to this House and sponsored the County Vocational Training and Education Bill. Mr. Speaker, that bill was supposed to do exactly what Senator Omtata is asking, providing a legal framework for regulation of technical and vocational training in this country. Mr. Speaker, that bill from 2022 has not made any progress in the National Assembly. Please, Mr. Speaker, we also need to have some seriousness where we consider the bills we have sent to the other House and we take a position. This order paper is full of National Assembly bills. We are doing well. The other House is not considering our bills. Otherwise, the issues raised by Senator Omtata, the issues affecting Kenya Institute of Management and various institutions would not arise if that bill...
Senator Chiranke.
Mr. Speaker, I want from the onset to send my deepest condolences to the people of Kitui. They are my in-laws and my relatives. Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Article 26, right to life, is very critical, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that as we speak today...
What is the point of order, Senator Matthew?
Can you freeze my time? I was just taking off.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I would not have wanted to disrupt the flow of vote of Senator Cherargei, but there is a situation that you need to address immediately, Mr. Speaker, because as it is now, none of us, the colleagues who are not in the Senate now, cannot be able to leave the precincts of Parliament, and those who are in cannot go out, because there is a very major situation at the gate that requires your very urgent intervention. One of our colleagues, Senator Uroba, is at the gate, and she says, "Anatuheshimu na hatuogopi." So there is no way we can go out, and there's no way we can. There's no way we can go out. There's no way we can come in, and I think that's a situation that that will require your very urgent intervention.
Proceed, Senator Fernandi. We'll deal with that administratively, Senator Metho.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I hope my time was preserved. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Article 26 is very clear on the right to life. And I want to assure Senator Wambua that our prayers and thoughts are with him, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very unfortunate that these killings are happening while our police were in a hit, Mr. Speaker. And I'm happy today, although I differ with Senator Metu on many things, finally, Mr. Speaker, I'm being vindicated because this points back to the incompetence, moribunds, ineffectiveness of the CS Interior, Mr. Speaker. And the more he stays in that ministry, the more Kenyans will die. And we'll never replace them, Mr. Speaker. Over the weekend, Mr. Speaker, I roast a young man called Sami Kowendi who was murdered, Mr. Speaker. The Meru killings were happening, Mr. Speaker. In this town, when you remove your phone, it goes with the hand, Mr. Speaker. We must address that the buck stops with the Minister of Interior. He must, and I remember when the Ministry of Defense Security called him to appear. He failed to appear, Mr. Speaker, because we wanted to ask critical questions, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, I want to call upon the DCI. I saw they arrested a lady called Bare Sare Ahmed, who was using digital incitement, Mr. Speaker. But unfortunately, the DCI did not give us the mark shot of that young girl, Mr. Speaker. We don't want also to do double standards of DCI, Mr. Speaker. And I don't know why my teacher, Senator Professor Ojenda, who is allegedly sponsoring goons in Kisumu, is pointing at me. Mr. Speaker, the point I'm trying to make, Mr. Speaker, is the issue of incitement and reconciliation, Mr. Speaker. You must direct the committee of Senator Chute to be part of the national security and also cohesion so that we can see how we can help the people of Kitui, Mr. Speaker. And I hope this matter will be put to rest so that the people of Kitui can enjoy their right to freedom. And I want to appeal to the party leader and other leaders, Mr. Speaker.
What is your point of order, Senator Karungo?
Mr. Speaker, I seek your guidance. Is the senator for Nandi?
What is the standing order that you're invoking?
11105, both of them. Statement of facts, Mr. Speaker. Is the senator for Nandi referring to the senior counsel, Senator Ojenda, as a goon? Mr. Speaker, he needs to substantiate, because I remember the other day, the same senator was fighting for the Senate when somebody portrayed us as such. Is he referring to Senator Ojenda as a goon general?
Senator Karungo, what I heard from Senator Cherengei, he used the word allegedly. Allegedly. He did not, it's allegedly. So I don't think we need to proceed and conclude your thoughts.
Mr. Speaker, you know, Senator Karungo Adangwa was sitting to somebody who referred that.
Senator Cherengei, your time is up. Okay, 1 minute, you conclude.
Mr. Speaker, I saw Senator Karungo Watangwa was sitting to somebody who referred as goons. No. So he should have even hit him with Angumi on honor of this house, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, the buck stops with the Minister of Interior, and I hope the Inspector General of Police will ensure the people of Kitui are held as such. And Senator Ojenda assisted us, but he did it later. But I'm surprised he's sitting next to Senator Otsosi. I don't know. Otsosi, you need to be careful. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I support.
Now, honorable senators, we have expanded the time allocated to this particular comment session. We'll move to the next order. Clerk, next order, please.
Order number 8, motion, report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors, and the Social Health Authority. Resumption of debate for the mover to reply.
The mover of this motion, you may now proceed to reply.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I rise to reply the motion on the report of Standing Committee on Health on the petition of the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of the clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health, Council of Governors, and the Social Authority. Mr. Speaker, I thank the members who has contributed. Many of them have contributed. Mr. Speaker, this is healthcare is more of HR. And Mr. Speaker, we have engaged so many stakeholders on this. And we came with almost 4 recommendations. Mr. Speaker, I urge this recommendation must be taken putty so that at least these human resource issues be implemented. Mr. Speaker, clinical officers, there are 543 clinical officers in the county, in the country. Mr. Speaker, if you go to each counties, these clinical officers, they do almost all what doctors are doing. They are all multitasking, all other activities. Mr. Speaker, but when it comes to human resource, when it comes to deployment, internship, permanent and pensionable, and transfers and absorptions, Mr. Speaker, they are not aware, they are not anywhere. These 5,433, they are there, outside there. They have done with their educations, but they are supposed to be doing internship, but they have not been absorbed on the internship. Mr. Speaker, in this, committee has recommended 4 recommendations. The one which is more importantly and which needs more implementation to be done effectively and quickly, Mr. Speaker, is the recommendation on the standard human resource for health development guideline covering internship, permanent and pensionable absorptions and transfers. And these recommendations address the structural gaps in the workforce plan and should be reduced. If this is implemented, to reduce the unvain practice across the country and across the counties. Mr. Speaker, with those remarks, I stand a reply. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Clerk, do we have the requisite quorum? Do we? Good. Now, honorable senators, I will proceed to put the question. Senator Kavendo, kindly take your seat. That the Senate adopt the report of the Standing Committee on Health on a petition to the Senate by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers, KUCO, regarding alleged discrimination, interference, and violation of clinical officers' practice rights by the Ministry of Health, the Council of Governors, and the Social Health Authority, which was laid on the table of the Senate on Wednesday, 1st of April 2026. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Next order.
Order number 9, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bill number 2 of 2026, second reading, resumption of debate.
Now, the rise of the House yesterday, Honorable Senator Methu had the floor, and you had a balance of 10 minutes. You may proceed with your contribution.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I am sure the students who are the speakers, or rather the public gallery, will be recognized at the appropriate time. As the House was rising yesterday, and
Honorable Methu, before you proceed, allow me to make this communication because the students may want to leave to go back home. Honorable Senators, I'd like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of a visiting delegation of 10 teachers and 70 students from ACK Ziwa Senior School in Eldoret or Singishu County. The delegation is visiting the Senate for an academic exposition. Now, on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation and wish them a fruitful visit. I will ask the Senator Fernandi under 1 minute to extend the word of welcome to the delegation.
Mr. Speaker, thank you very much. I want to extend a warm welcome to the wonderful students from Ziwa. Mr. Speaker, personally, as the neighbor senator, because I come from Nandi, on behalf of Senator Jackson Mandago, known as Jagma, I want to extend a warm welcome, Mr. Speaker. And Ziwa is a very good place, Mr. Speaker. That is where we get a lot of maize. They are very critical for food security. They are very important. And Ziwa is a very good place, Mr. Speaker. I wish them well back as they go to school, learn what you can. And we are proud of you. We love you. We wish you the best. And we are praying for you. And thank you, Speaker, because they'll be able to follow the proceedings by comments by Senator Medu. But don't take his advice of not shaving. You should always be well shaven like our Speaker, so that you can always look the part, Mr. Speaker. So I welcome and asanteni sana. Kongoi, Mr. Speaker, ako karibuni.
Senator Medu.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know what language Senator Cherargei spoke in as he wound up his welcoming, but I think I would be right, Senator Cherargei, to say Kongoi mi sing. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm also looking forward to a day where students who come from Yandaron, they will be welcomed by Senator Cherargei as we try and build cohesion. Because they see Senator Cherargei quite often. They see him, his palatial home in Mosorio, I have visited it, and it's not very far from Doret, Mr. Speaker. I was saying yesterday, Mr. Speaker, as the House was rising, that as a people and as a House, we cannot and we shall never, our finger shall never be pointed to this House as the people who ever made devolution not work. It is our work, regardless of the bad manners of the governors, because governors have tried to provoke us extensively, Mr. Speaker. But it shall not be us. This baby of devolution shall never die at the hands of the Senate. And this has been very consistent in terms of what we have been doing. Number one, Mr. Speaker, in terms of trying to push for as much money to go to our counties, Mr. Speaker, we are always in the front line. Number two, Mr. Speaker, as the governors now try to speak to us very nicely, I saw the leader of majority now saying that the stalemate has been now unlocked because we had said that we are not passing DORA before they say that they will be accountable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be, and I have said this countless times on the floor of this House, it cannot be, Mr. Speaker, that when we are in the forest or when we are hunting for the money to go to counties, Mr. Speaker, we work very, very closely with the governors. But once they got the money, Mr. Speaker, they don't want to be accountable. There has to always be responsibility and accountability on the money that you receive. You cannot be a governor, and we shall not be lectured, and we shall not. In fact, I don't know who are the members of the Finance Committee who are here. The governors who are in the list of 29, they should not appear to represent the COG when COG is speaking about the money they want. I have seen that they had proposed to get 534 billion, Mr. Speaker. We have said at the Senate to be reasonable, we want to push 454 billion, Mr. Speaker. But those governors who have refused to appear before the Public Accounts Committee, who have refused to appear before the Public Investment Committee, those ones shall not be part, and we shall not fight with them. We shall not fight from the same direction, Mr. Speaker. I was saying, Mr. Speaker, in terms of permanently absorbing the workers who work in the universal health coverage, Mr. Speaker, there are about 7,000 workers who are in UHC, Mr. Speaker. I think this is so sad. Since 2020, when they were recruited, when we had a very huge pandemic, Mr. Speaker, the COVID pandemic, when they were recruited to help in terms of the rollout of the universal health coverage, Mr. Speaker, these people who bear the brunt of, they are nurses, clinical officers, pharmacists, lab technicians, Mr. Speaker. I know the senator for Meru wants his arrival to be recognized. We have recognized that you are here. Welcome, Vice Chairman of the Jury Check from Meru, and a very good friend of Murega Vaichu. Mr. Speaker, sir, I was saying that as their contracts expire in April and September of 2026, Mr. Speaker, we must try and ensure that this money, 8.9 billion, we must try and ensure that this agenda of the UHC workers, Mr. Speaker, is addressed once and for all. We can't speak about it every year. We can't be, Mr. Speaker, speaking about this money every year, Mr. Speaker. Number two, and finally, as I wind up so that I allow Senator Charaga and the other people to speak about, we want the only way the people of Kenya who actually make sense of these bills that we speak about, and we keep saying that we want money to be pushed to counties, Mr. Speaker, is when they can see programs that they can actually relate to, Mr. Speaker. If you read, and I said it, Mr. Speaker, if you read it in Schedule 4 of the, I'm really being disturbed by Senator Chalagai, Speaker. You must address...
Order, Senator Chalagai. How can you be pronouncing point of order? The Speaker was left the chair. Why are you disturbing the Honorable Chair that you on a point of order? What is your point
I
of
hope
order?
I hope my time has been frozen. I am sure I have like 9 minutes.
Can you tell Senator Metu to sit? He's not somewhere in Olkalau. Mr. Speaker, I like understanding Order 105, responsibility and statement of FAC and 110. Mr. Speaker, did you hear the last comment when he was welcoming you warmly, saying you are related to Baite? Mr. Speaker, you know it can send a wrong signal because the Baite media group we know and other people might misinterpret. And you know, Speaker, what we speak here, Kenyans carry with weight. Can he either substantiate or withdraw? Because the Baite we know is a television network, it has its owners and directors. So, Mr. Speaker, linking you might even be detrimental to your future political aspirations. So 105 and 110, the Senator of Nyandarua should clarify.
Senator for Nyandarua, why are you standing up before he prosecutes his point of order? No, just sit down, relax, then he can, now you can be able to go back to your seat.
Mr. Speaker, you are not exercising, well, I comply, and I don't want to even waste time responding to what Senator Chararge has said. I always hope that people can follow and listen. And
you must, you know, he has a point of order that you must prosecute.
I'm speaking to it, Mr. Speaker. You know, if he had listened, you know, you can't speak and listen at the same time. I think he was speaking when I was speaking. I never mentioned Baite. You are my witness that I never mentioned Baite. Even if you ask for the Hansard of this House of my contribution, Mr. Speaker, I don't know when I will contribute. You are sure that I didn't mention Baite? I don't know where he's getting that from. Maybe there are ghosts that are in the head of Senator Charagay. Why don't you just allow me to contribute, Senator Charagay? How do we proceed?
Senator Medu is trying to prosecute your point of which I think he don't understand.
Speaker,
I think because when I was coming in, he did not mention Baite, but he mentioned the name of another gentleman.
I never mentioned Baite. At least we just then allow.
What did you say?
At least you heard that I never mentioned Baite.
What did you? Who did you mention?
I said that the senator for Meru, who is my friend, and a Jurincheke, and a friend of Murega Vaichu. Murega Vaichu is not a Vaite, and you are his representative in this house. You are his representative in this house, Mr. Speaker. I mean, there's no way you can deny your people.
Senator Chalagay, if I heard him clearly mention that gentleman.
Yes, so there's no way then just allow me to conclude. I don't have a lot of time.
Mention the gentleman, but if you are prosecuting on my behalf, Senator Chalagay, let me say that you know where I come from. The old men say that you know arrows that are sent to the legs are less dangerous, but an arrow just shot on your heart is very dangerous and can kill you. So we don't attend to arrows, direct them to a leg because you can still get amputated and still live. So the arrow directed by Senator Metu was directed to the leg and not to the heart. So proceed, Senator.
You know, Mr. Speaker, you exude extreme wisdom. And as you grow, I mean, this is not the wisdom that I was seeing you in the first year. You are becoming, I think there is something in that white hair that they are wearing. And I think there is even something more inside that kofia that you wear, Mr. Speaker. Because that is a lot of wisdom. I'll use that wisdom in the next meeting that we will go out, Mr. Speaker. But please allow me to wind up my thoughts on this division of revenue. Even as we speak about the 454 billion that we want to send to counties, one thing that we must also insist is that this money must go also on time. It is not a privilege that the national government does to the county government to send money. It has never been a privilege for the county government, for the national government, Mr. Speaker, to send money to our counties, Mr. Speaker. This money must be sent on time. That is number one. Number two, our governors must also help us. You remember the way we were foaming in the mouth here when we were passing the formula of sharing revenue, Mr. Speaker, among us the counties, Mr. Speaker. You remember the case that we made, the 12 counties that are given the affirmative, Mr. Speaker. You remember the case that we made here, and the senators were magnanimous enough to listen to us, Mr. Speaker. So when we sat with our governors, I don't know whether they are members, I think Senator Katai is one of the members of those 12 that got this affirmative, Mr. Speaker. And I think Senator Kinyua. When we sat down with our governors, we had actually agreed that since this money is affirmative, it must be treated different from how they treat the other equitable resources, Mr. Speaker. We must be able, Senator Kataya must be able to trail where did these 371 million that we sent to the Rakanidhi, of which program did it attend? What was it used to do? But, Mr. Speaker, that convention was very good when we were passing that formula here. But after we passed that formula, the governors never want to hear us now. I wonder whether Senator Kataya or Senator Kinyua, whom we fought with, among the other 12 counties, Mr. Speaker, I wonder whether they can actually be able to tell the people of the Rakanidhi, the people of Nyandarua, the people of Laikipia, that these 371 million that we got, we took it to this specific project. Because that's what we had asked, Mr. Speaker. So that even next time as we come to this Senate to ask that, please give us more, we can be able to tell you that for the 5 years that you gave us this affirmative money, Mr. Speaker, this is what we are able to do. Let me say this, Mr. Speaker, as I wind up because I see my time is gone. You know, governors must make it easy for this House to continue negotiating on their behalf. Because, Mr. Speaker, it becomes very difficult when we are saying we are sending this money to governors. And then the people are telling us, why are you sending money to governors and they are just stealing this money? They must make it easy by providing services to our people, Mr. Speaker. If you now ask, for example, you saw the kind of, the kind of situation in terms of health that is in the county of Nandi. Now, when the senator for Nandi, Senator Charage, is speaking about the money that they have sent in Nandi, how will these people from Nandi relate that you have sent enough money and they are not seeing the services? The health situation in Nandi is in its death. I think it's in its lowest since the invent of devolution. How will the senator of Nandi continue convincing the people of his county that he has sent more money and they're not seeing anything to it? Now we are raising the revenue from 415 billion to 454 billion. That's an addition of about 40 billion, Mr. Speaker. How are we going to tell our people, why are you sending more money and we are not getting more resources, Mr. Speaker? We are only getting village billionaires. We are only getting people who are becoming richer. Somebody who was elected with nothing. Now they are working with like 50 bodyguards, Mr. Speaker. And I've seen people who want to become governors here. Senator for Kisumu, Senator Ojenda. We cannot glorify and take people to go and become billionaires in the village, Mr. Speaker. As you try and make yourself a billionaire, you must ensure that you give services to the people, that you. Senator Ojenda is a billionaire, but I think
Chalagay can't allow Senator Medu to prosecute.
I actually don't know why Senator Chalagay wants to disrupt him. He's not a billionaire. He's not even anywhere close to becoming a billionaire. So,
Senator Chalagay, order, Senator Chalagay. No point of order. I'm asking you to be honor yourself because you're interrupting Senator.
And anyway, it's a statement of fact that he's not a billionaire. So, Mr. Speaker, I conclude by saying, Mr. Speaker, we plead with our governors. We don't implement the money that we bring to you, but ensure that this money that will be increased this financial year, the people of Nyandarua can actually relate and can actually feel that indeed there was more money that was brought to our county by the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. I thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Manzo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I arise to contribute on the Division of Revenue Bill, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this particular bill is very important because it shares the revenue between the national and the county governments. Mr. Speaker, the Senate is here to defend devolution and to make sure that devolution stands and that development goes to the grassroots, Mr. Speaker. There's a time, Mr. Speaker, before devolution came, Kenyans had to go beg to the president for development. And those days, Mr. Speaker, went where the new constitution came. Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, there are issues which have to be considered when dealing with the division of revenue bill. And one of it is public debt. Public debt has been arising, and you know it has to be balanced again by the National Assembly. And again, public debt affects what happens in devolution. There is also duties or matters which have to be handled by the devolved governments, such as, Mr. Speaker, you know, health is devolved, and it's particularly very, very important when it comes to issues of health. There has been a lot of push and pull, Mr. Speaker, that part of the health activities which should be fully developed are still being handled by the national government, and part of these are some machines which have been put in the counties, Mr. Speaker. And to find these machines which should be serving the people there have been taken to the hospitals in the counties. They have to be managed from the national government. They have to be serviced from national government. And a lot of time, when they break down, they never get fixed on time. And therefore, we must have full devolution so that monies are allocated to functions. If it is health function, let everything be fully devolved so that there's no argument between the national government and the county government. A good example is what you saw with the, the minister, the CS for Health, the Honorable Duale, and the governor, who says these equipments are not working. Governor Nyaribo, who says the equipments have been brought to his county by national government, they are not functional. In fact, this equipment, Mr. Speaker, whose debt and charges keep on going on daily, because they are leased, they don't function. They are like an engine, a new car without an engine, Mr. Speaker. It will never serve its purposes. And there are many other, functions of the national government, the Ministry of Agriculture. A lot of national government funded projects happening in the counties. Even, water sources, dams, agriculture projects, are being handled by the national government instead of the same be fully devolved to the counties, and unfortunately it's not taking place. We've got a good example, the markets. The markets are fully under the county governments. They've got even a CEC dealing with that particular aspect of it. But we find that the national government has grabbed the opportunity to do markets in counties. They are running them. They go, they demolish existing markets. They pretend, like in the case of water in Makueni, and now a proposal in a place called Kadunzweni. The president went to water and launched this market, which stopped as soon as he left, and very little is happening. The traders have already been moved from their site where they were doing business. Therefore, this matter should be devolved. This market's construction should be dealt with fully by the governors. But in the event this doesn't happen, That's why we are saying this money should be moved from 420 billion to 454 billion. If you look at what had been proposed by Commission of Revenue Allocation, it was 448 billion. Therefore, this, if the functions followed, the monies followed the function, then the counties will have these monies which should be allocated to them. But when national government is still holding devolved functions and they have refused to let them go, and in fact, when these monies go, and all of us, we want the governors to account for these monies. We are aware that there are governors who don't want to account for these monies. We are aware that there are governors who are doing very well in their businesses and are always, and what they were elected by the people to do. But there are others who have completely performed dismally and cannot account for most of the monies. And the moment the Senate committees press for accountability, they want to revolt. Mr. Speaker, the position of the Senate is that there must be full accountability of monies allocated to the national government and also monies allocated to the county governments. Mr. Speaker, if there's no accountability through us who have been elected to the people to do so, then the people are left wondering what is the use of devolution and what is the use of county government. So as a Senate, we want to make sure that it is effective, that every governor is accountable, and every governor appears before the Senate and presents what they have been doing with the public monies. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest challenges in the national government and in the county government has been empty promises. Mr. Speaker, you can only, in a financial year, because this is now 2025, 2026, 2027 financial year, Mr. Speaker, you can only, implement what is in the budget. And in the budget, there is usually a committee of supply. And every single project the government is going to do is budgeted for. But unfortunately, year after year, budgets are presented, and then the projects don't go on, and they don't get accounted for eventually. And at the same time, the public debt is increasing at a very high rate, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it leaves the future for many Kenyans. And therefore, that's why we are saying, if the government makes promises, there should not be empty promises. There should not be roadside declarations that we are going to construct this road and this, and then it doesn't happen, that we are going to construct this market, and doesn't happen, Mr. Speaker. And when it comes to 2027, voters must account, the current government, the national government, and the county governments, for the promises they made, which were never implemented, Mr. Speaker. At the same time, there must be statements of facts when it comes to disbursement of the funds. A lot of time, the national government or the president has announced that monies have gone to the counties. 2-3 months later, that particular money has never gotten to the county. And therefore, because the year goes and there has to be procurement, as is procurement law, then the next cycle of budget comes, and that particular money, with so many other conditions, is withheld as central bank and never gets to the grassroots. And that leaves, the moment the head of state announces that I have sent monies to the counties and they are going to arrive on time, then they delay. You then pit the governors against the people, because the people will say we believe what the president said, and the governor must be the one who is misleading. And therefore, to avoid this, there's no need to announce or make empty promises in this regard, Mr. Speaker, so that we do not have a clash between the governors, and the people. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, to conclude, I think it is only fair that first and foremost, as we debate this bill, the governors appear before the committees, as we had agreed earlier, and carry on with accountability. At the same time, when this division of revenue is finally passed, because without this, the governors cannot access any money, then we need to see full implementation, and that a lot of work done for the people of Kenya, because devolution is important. Mr. Speaker, up to today, for 4 years now, many governors have not even done their roads. They have not graded their roads. They have not marramed them. They have not done bridges. Agricultural produce is unable to move. And these are the reasons why we give money for devolution. There are still in many counties ECDs not constructed. You know, the young ones should be introduced to education in a very friendly manner so that they get to like education, so that one day they can be like us. But the moment you have no ECD, you discourage very young children going to school in the village. So there are a lot of ECDs not done, and the worst of it, Mr. Speaker, are the hospitals. As much as we send this money to the counties, we want to see incinerators, you know, the hospital waste handled in a professional manner, because it is part of a cause of health problems when the hospitals don't handle the waste properly. So the necessary equipment should be available in every single hospital, and even locally constructed ones, so that that particular handling does not bring more infection to the people of Kenya. And then finally, the workings of SHA, Mr. Speaker, you find a lot of times, even those who have registered for SHA, and the minister was presented with a case here by the senator from Machakos the other day, whereby Kenyans are fully complied. You go into a hospital, SHA pays very little, you fundraise, you are unable to pick, or you are unable to get your patient out of hospital, which is actually unconstitutional, or a family is kept waiting for months, Mr. Speaker. And I've seen this happen in Makueni, and I participated in pay for patients to leave hospital, or for bodies to go for burial many months after somebody passed away. It creates a lot of apprehension. And what the CS Duale did when he was here and was presented with this case, he said that all of us must fundraise. I think the whole idea of insurance is to make sure that you are fully covered for all the activities you are paid for. I'm personally paying for insurance. I'm paying a lot of money every month, and it should be useful to the people of Makueni. I should also not go again to my pocket to conduct a rambis, Mr. Speaker, to make sure that people live happily. There are no drugs. You know, the part of treatment is to be given medication. So the medical drugs are not available. In a lot of situations, people have to be sent to shops to buy, yet we are allocating monies for these functions which are devolved. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is important that this division of revenue bill goes through for this year so that the counties may function, but at the same time, you know, functions must follow the budget and vice versa, so that for whatever it is budgeted, we need to see these projects completed for the benefits of Kenyans. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I do support.
Very well, Senator Manzo. Senator Abbas, you are the next online.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to also join my colleagues to make a statement, to make a contribution to the bill. Honorable Speaker, this bill is not merely an instrument. It is the backbone of devolution, and this will determine whether the counties will work or function effectively or not. Honorable Speaker, as we debate today for the revenue bill for the counties, which is going to be about 450 billion, we still have so many challenges in the counties. Honorable Speaker, one thing which is important is that this money must reflect the real cost of service delivered, because currently what we are seeing in the counties, despite them complaining about little money, of course the money is not enough, and there's no one day money will be enough. But prudent use of money will be able to deliver at least a huge amount of, services, give a huge amount of service to be done. Honorable Speaker, one other thing that we overlooked, I don't know how this is taken care of, maybe the 40 billion, which is an addition of the previous addition from the previous one, will be able to take care, because there are a lot of unforeseen incidents or costs. There is increased wage bills where every time you have to make a promotion for all the staff, because that is a mandatory for all serving counties. Staff must be promoted. They have also medical cover. They have their pension contribution. Therefore, we expect the bill to increase by the years. And I think this budget is not factoring in those incidences of increase of wage bills and all this, and the promotions in the counties. And therefore, that should be the thing that should be, the cost that should be taken care of in the increased amount of money. There's also, as a result of the ongoing inflation rate is high now. What is happening now, the fuel is increased and everything is going up. And rising operation costs due to inflation and incidence of, the petrol and the fuel and all these things is also unexpected. And I'm sure this budget has not also factored in these kind of incidents that are coming up and emergencies. Also, Honorable Speaker, we have 42 institutions, parastatals and regional institutions that are performing the functions of the counties. These 42 institutions have already been considered through the cabinet memo and IGRTC that these functions must be devolved to the counties. And up to now, no action has been taken. The National Assembly is actually giving them more funds again. And for 25, the budget for 25-26, the same budget are taken to the same institutions. The parastatals are still getting their money, and I don't know who will act on that. That itself is not constitutional, and I think it's a high time that this House must take serious action to claim back that money from the various institutions that have already been recommended. The parastatals that have already been recommended to be taken, the functions to be taken to the counties. And therefore, the budget that is given to these 42 institutions, the parastatals and the regional institutions, should be given back to the counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, one other thing is that the revenue sharing must be also taken into account the economic disparities, of course, in different counties. Like my county now, Honorable Speaker, the services delivered and services and, the things like fuel, things like material for construction, is actually, there's a big disparities. In Nairobi, because goods are coming from Nairobi all the way to Wajir, and that is actually a cost of about, 700 plus kilometers. Definitely, there's a transportation cost. There's a lot of unforeseen costs, and therefore, the money given to the counties also should be considered and taken into consideration this kind of unforeseen costs. Because I hear complaints that people are saying that Wajir is getting a lot of money. It's not so. We still need more money for these areas because their services are not there even. The services are not being delivered. Everybody is coming back to Nairobi here to get the services and the goods to be from this area to be transported back, even food to be taken to Wajir and Mandera and those places. I think this has not been factored in. Honorable Speaker, one other thing is to make business with the counties are today wallowing in poverty, and they're not being considered. So it is high time that the Senate must take action, that according to the BFM Act, the first charge must be all the burning bills. Otherwise, we will just be breeding poverty in the counties. We have devolved corruption, and now we are devolving again poverty, so that all the few people who are giving the service are not receiving back their money. And as a result, we are creating now a lot of poor people now in the counties. They commit their money, they give the service, they commit their work, and they're not being paid. For the last 15 years, there are people still waiting for their money. I think this House must come up with a modality that we can be able to save the counties, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, There are many challenges, of course. But one other thing is those challenges is not is unforeseen circumstances, especially in the arid lands, the same arid and same areas. There's these issues to do with the drought. As you're aware, last time we had a lot of animals died, food went high, cost went high. People lost their animals. There are sometimes floods. There's a security issue which is not actually planned for. You are hearing what's happening now with our colleague from Kitui. The insecurity actually everywhere in this country. And then this comes with a lot of, there are also conflicts. There's high inflation. There's a lot of, so many costs, Honorable Speaker. And this has not been factored in any of the budgets. And I think it's a high time during the budget making. This is, kind of unforeseen things like emergencies, drought, and all these things must be considered in the budget, so that at least we can be able to save the amount of money that is being used for these unforeseen incidents, like the drought and insecurity and all these things. Honorable Speaker, there is a lot of physical discipline. You are hearing, yesterday I was hearing that the Senate and the governors have agreed on, the governors will appear to all the meetings of the committees. But that is not the issue. The issue is the corruption that is taking place in the counties. That should have been the first thing to be considered. Not for the counties to come or not to come. The governors will come. That's a mandatory, the constitutional thing. So the business of saying governors must take responsibility for the losses of money, because we don't even have enough resources in the counties. So there must be a prudent use and fiscal discipline in the counties, so that at least we can be able to utilize the little money that goes there. Honorable Speaker, also one other thing we want to do is there's a lot of unnecessary delay in releasing funds for the counties. And this actually has also cost the counties to incur extra cost, especially when they're paying their salary. Sometimes they borrow from the banks. And the banks, of course, even earn interest. This is not actually something that has been considered in the past. So what we need is actually this money, the Treasury must release the money for the counties in time, so that you can avoid these unnecessary costs. Honorable Speaker, also there is the cash flow uncertainties. Because sometimes you'll be told money will be released, and it might even take 1 or 2 years before even they reach the total amount of money that was meant for the counties. Honorable Speaker, what I think is actually the government is sending and plan for functions, a lot of roadside issues coming up. The counties have been told to do ABCDs, and they're not compensated, and they use the little money, like what's happening now in the what do you call the primary health care, the CAIBs, and all these things. And I think this is actually also causing unnecessary cost for the counties, and which they have not been prepared for, and they are not being paid for. So this business of holding almost 85% of the money in the National Assembly, in the national government, should be done away with, and give a fair contribution to the counties, so they can properly live off their work and have a equitable share properly, so they can enhance their work and development. They can be able to serve the people, because the larger population now is in the counties. What is there in the national government now? It's actually something negligible. So Ministry of Health, so less than 15% that goes to the counties. Ministry of Agriculture are the same things. And most of this, what's happening is actually what we are doing is policy issues, most of them, and regulations. But of course, the actual work now is at the county. So we need to have more money to the counties. Honorable Speaker, with those few remarks, I beg to support the bill. Thank you so much.
Very well, Senator Baz. Senator Okoitio Mtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you for the opportunity to speak to this very important motion. I stand to give my support or to put my support behind those voices that are calling for higher accountability on the resources that are being given to the county governments. My submissions would be that we distinguish the question of accountability from the question of allocation. Let the allocations due to the county governments be made, let them go down, but the question of accountability for how that money is used must be addressed to the due diligence it deserves. And in that particular question, I have been looking at the legal framework that we have in this country. We have a body called the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, which does quite a bit of work in this country. But other than what it has done to prevent, detect, and maybe punish corruption, there's one area that I feel if they did something to enhance their preventive effect. And that's the question of auditing, auditing our budgets for corruption, to identify corruption before it happens. You'll find that the ESCC is acting in terms of, because you have got the side of planning and the expenditure. There's the revenue side and there's the expenditure side. Now the revenue side is where money is planned for. And I would like to see our organs, our ESCC, or if the ESCC is not able, then we go back and revamp the anti-corruption, the economic crimes desk of the DCI, to be able to be looking at these budgets to ferret out corruption. Because you'll find that once a budget has been passed after public participation, the first thing you will see happening in county governments and even in the national government is this animal called supplementary budget, which is highly abused. They don't supplement for purposes of addressing emergencies or unforeseen circumstances as anticipated under Article 223 of the Constitution. They supplement to move money from development or from where it is difficult to steal to where it is easy to steal and hide. I would really plead that the ESCC ups its game and goes further to interrogate, to audit budgets of county governments. Audit those budgets and let there be justifications for whatever changes they are doing. The law is very clear. You can only change a budget item or a budget by not more than 10%. In my county, I've got evidence that the budget was changed by 65%. What was that serving? If it's not to distort the will of the people and maybe to serve interests that are not above board. So, Mr. Speaker, my plea would be that the ESCC, and maybe working together with the control of budget. The title control of budget must be control of budget, not an accounting officer who tells us that this money has been done, this or that. Let us audit budgets for effectiveness. Let there be a mechanism for auditing budgets to ensure that budgets are effective so that when they are implemented, the effects will be felt. You can have sometimes a budget that has got totally no effect, will be implemented 100% according to the way it is, but nothing will be gained. So if we reduce the question of auditing budgets to arithmetic, we may miss it. So it's my plea that this House, as we pass this important bill to send money down to the counties, consider that. The other aspect is the question of the autonomy of our finances. And I'm happy that Senator Wambua is here. At one time we had a discussion with Senator Wambua and he promised me he was going to bring a bill to this House for us to expunge the treasury, the national treasury, from the national government. I don't know how far the bill for my brother has gone with that bill. Yes, please, may you inform me?
So, Senator Omtata, would you like to be informed?
Yes, yes, only by Senator Wambua.
Enoch Wambua.
Yes, by Senator Wambua.
Proceed, Senator.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, it is very true what Senator Omtata is saying, and I want to inform him that the process of drafting that bill has reached a very advanced stage. That I think now than ever before, the need to separate the National Treasury from the Ministry of Finance, that time is now, to ensure that then the division of revenue and the sharing of revenues between the two levels of government does not favor one side at the expense of the other side. So the drafting is at an advanced stage, and I hope that the Secretariat is hearing what I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, so that in the next few weeks we can debate that bill here. I thank you.
Senator Okoiti Omtata.
Thank you, my brother, Senator Wambua, for those encouraging words. I'm happy that the drafting of that bill is at an advanced stage. I hope the drafters will take serious cognizance of Section 11 and Section 12 of the Public Finance Management Act, which purpose to create a treasury as a ministry in the national government. I hope in that bill we shall seek to expunge or to revoke those particular sections, 11 and 12 of the Public Finance Management Act, so that we can restore control of public money back to the people of Kenya. Over and above that, I hope that a mirror image of that particular separation of finances at the national level from the executive will also take place at county government, so that every county government, the money is not placed in the hands of the governor. The money will be held by an independent civil servant. And for the governor or anybody to access that money, it must be in the budget, and the control of budget must have approved that expenditure. Let us take control of our money. Let us drain the swamp. And I'm happy my brother, Senator Wambua, has assured us that that work is ongoing. I'm happy to do that. Because if we don't do that, the money that goes to the ground is misappropriated. It's handled like money which belongs to an individual, and an individual will run around with it. We have seen the president running around non-stop, purporting to go around, do projects, whatever. If you go and check in the budget, those projects are not in the budget. It rubbishes the constitutional framework within which development in this country is supposed to be done. You have heard this common phrase that people keep on expressing, that we must be in government. We must be in government. That is not the design of democracy. The design of democracy is not that everybody should be on the government side. Democracy works on two legs: the opposition and the government, or the minority and the majority. We cannot all be in one side. That way the country cannot stand. The issue is we should distinguish between being in government and accessing development. There should be no correlation between being in government and accessing development. That should be something we must face very clearly. So that this narrative that we must be in government, whereby government is understood as state capture, we must be part of those people who have captured the state, so that we can exploit it to our selfish and narrow interests, must stop. We must, once we separate the treasury, the national treasury, and the Ministry of Finance, and by the way, Mr. Speaker, if my memory serves me right, ministries are addressed at Article 152 of the Constitution. The Treasury is addressed at Article 225 of the Constitution. There is no way the framers of the Constitution could have imagined a Treasury that is part of the ministry, is a ministry in the national government, and placed it so far away, so deep in the Constitution at 225, when they addressed the cabinet at 152. So, Mr. Speaker, that mistake that was made by the Parliament in 2012, when they created the Treasury as a ministry of the national government needs to be fixed. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we are engaged in a thankless task as Parliament at the national and county levels, because we don't control the money. The money is already with the executive. The executive at the national government has the knife and the cake. The executive at the county level has a knife and a cake. The county assembly is toothless. The parliament at the national level is toothless, because the weapon they are supposed to have is in the hands of the executive. Let us get money back into parliament. Let us get not the money, let us the control of money back in parliament, held by an independent civil service, and that way we shall be moving forward. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we shall be pounding water in a mortar. We are going to get nowhere. We are going to keep on complaining, agonizing, and being told you must be in parliament, suspend your mind, you must be in government, because a government is no longer an institution of good. It's an institution of looters who, when they get into power, they have access to money and they loot that money and there are no consequences. Let us take our public money back. Let us set up the office of the national treasurer and appoint somebody with security of tenure. Put that money there. Give him the power to control that money. The president should wait for his salary. He should not have access to public money. He should not be able to have the capacity to move around and offer people projects. The projects must come through the budgets that the parliament passes, and it should be more important in this country to elect an MP than to elect a president, or to elect an MCA than to elect a governor. Because the MCA will have the decisions over how the money is used. The MP will have decisions of how that money is used. And the budgets will be what will guide development. So you will not have to be in government to access development. You just have to have a member of parliament in parliament who can put your agenda in the national budget and you access development. And that thing will also reduce the clamor for the presidency in this country. Where communities think that the presidency belongs to them, the presidency is a matter of life and death. It will stop that. It will even help us clean out our election system so that it doesn't become a weapon for capturing power, but it becomes a mechanism for filtering various and competing ideas on how the country should be run forward. And now that I've mentioned the EACC, Mr. Speaker, sir, there is a problem in the register of the EACC. And that problem needs to be fixed. We have very, very many people who are registered voters who do not have proper biometrics, especially their pictures are missing. They don't have pictures. Who are these ghost voters who don't have pictures? So even as we push for registration of new voters, I want to plead with the EACC, the IEBC, to ensure that every voter has got proper identification. Our AI tools have revealed that we have about 6 million plus to 7 million voters who do not have pictures in the voters register. The problem is very bad in sub-areas, and especially an area like Central Province, the former Central Province, or the so-called Mount Kenya today. You find, Mr. Speaker, we need to have those ghost voters removed so that we have a credible voter register where everybody can be identified by even facial features. We know this is so-and-so, this is so-and-so. That, Mr. Speaker, is something I really plead that this House does. So that we must, one of the mandates of the IBC is to revise the voters register. The time for revising the voters register is now. Let us revise the voters register. And as I've even prayed that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission goes a step further and interrogates and audits the budgets of our county governments and the budgets of the national government to ferret out corruption, the same should happen with the voters register. The EACC should go into the voters register and ferret out fake voters. It should not be left that there is going that the EACC, the register of the EACC of the NE, the voters register held by the IEBC, will simply be audited by some company which is selected there and there. We have an institution of anti-corruption. A fake voter is a corrupt voter. That's an aspect of corruption. So we would like to see the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission take up the National Voters Register and interrogate it to ferret out corruption. And one of the things I would like the Ethics and Anti-Corruption to do, remove all voters who do not have pictures in the voters register. Remove all of them. So that when next time we go to vote, we should only have people who are identifiable casting votes. We can't have 6 million unknown people in the voters register. We cannot. It's not acceptable. So, Mr. Speaker, I really plead that these things are intertwined, the question of money and the question of how power is acquired, how power is retained, how power is deployed in this country are interconnected. And if we want to drain the swamp in this country, we must go down, lock away the money, and clean up the voters register so that acquiring power will be through the front door. And access to development will be assured to every citizen who is a taxpayer, irrespective of their political persuasion or worldview. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, we don't have a country. And Mr. Speaker, eternal vigilance is the burden we bear as citizens of this country. And I want to remind ourselves of the words of one of the founding fathers of the United States, one of the founding fathers, called Benjamin Franklin. It is famously stated that after they had gotten the Constitution, he was asked by somebody to tell them, what have you given us? Is it a monarchy or is it a republic? And Benjamin Franklin is quoted as having said, a republic if you can keep it. So the question is, are we the people of Kenya ready to keep the republic? We call ourselves the Republic of Kenya. We are not a kiosk. We are not a matatu. We are not anything. We are a republic. We are not a kingdom. We are not a fiefdom. We are a republic. So if we are a republic, we are a government of law. Are we being faithful to the law, beginning with the Constitution? What are our laws in this country? There is nothing else greater than the law in this country. There is no greater public interest in this country than the law. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the law is so sacrosanct that even if you go to the Bible, after creation, we are told that God told Adam and Eve to be in charge of everything that he had created. But he never told Adam and Eve to be in charge of themselves. He subjected them to the law, to the rule of law. And the day, Mr. Speaker, sir, Adam and Eve disobeyed the law, they lost paradise. So our paradise is founded on the law, is protected by the law, is the law. So, Mr. Speaker, let us go back and be faithful to our law. We clean up. The law requires us to have an independent treasury, both at the national and the county government. Let us have those independent treasuries. The law requires us to have a clean election that is verifiable, that is simple, that is accurate, that is impartial, that is conducted in a neutral manner. Let us have that election done. Let us pay attention to Chapter 7 on the elections and Chapter 12 on public finance of our Constitution. Mr. Speaker, sir, we do that, then we shall have gotten the promise of this country, the promise that is so clearly spelled out in our national anthem, that when you look at the national anthem, you see the same vision that the founding fathers of the United States had. You look at the Swahili version, not the English version of the national anthem. You look at the Swahili version, and you see a country that exists for the people, a country by the people, for the people, and of the people. You don't see a country that we have today of some, I don't even know what's going on. I lack the words which to describe it. And when I sing the national anthem, I don't know the country I'm singing the national anthem to, Mr. Speaker, sir. So I really plead with this House and my fellow senators that we step up to the plate and do these very critical things. We stop complaining and begin organizing. We stop agonizing, we begin organizing. And that organizing is within our hands. Let us support the bill Senator Wambua says he's going to bring here to separate the Treasury and the Ministry of Finance, to restore the Treasury to civilian control, to parliamentary control through civilian management, so that we can have a Treasury that is autonomous, that can serve the 47 counties and the one national government equitably, that will ensure, as the law said, that every 15th day of the month, county government should get their money. Today, that doesn't happen, because the national government, which is controlling, which has hijacked the Treasury, ensures it has a full belly before the counties are taken care of. Let us break that jinx. Let us go back to the foundation. Let us do the plumbing. Let us stop trying to mop the floor and clean out all the water we need. Right now, if you listen to the presidential candidates around and everybody talking in this country, you tend to think that what they are looking for is a super mopper, somebody who can mop all the water that's leaking from the tap. Nobody's talking about fixing the tap, getting a plumber to fix the tap. So with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I support the motion, and I pray that we move forward as a country that has a destination which is clearly...
Senator Kinyua.
Asante Bwana Spika kunipa fursa hii. Bwana Spika, nasimama kuunga mkono taarifa mswada huu wa ugavi wa hela ya mapato katika jamhuri mwaka wa 2026. Bwana Spika, kwa kumkumbusha tu Senator Omtata, kwa sababu nimeona akisumbuka sana katika wimbo wa taifa, ningependa tu kumwambia ya kwamba yale ambayo alitaka kusema ni ya kwamba haki iwe ngao na mlinzi, na hii inapatikana katika mstari wa 3 katika ubeti wa kwanza wa wimbo wa taifa wetu. Kwa hivyo tunasema, nakubaliana na wewe, haki iwe ngao na mlinzi. Bwana Spika, nikiwa naunga mkono na niseme ya kwamba hela ambazo zinazotengwa kwenda katika gatuzi zetu bilioni 420. Bwana Spika, kwa kweli ndiyo ni ongezeko tukilinganisha na mwaka uliopita. Ni bilioni 5 ambazo zimeongezeka. Bwana Spika, lakini pia hiyo haitoshi. Bwana Spika, sisi kama seneti tulipokuwa katika mjadala huu tulisema hela ambazo tulitaka ni bilioni 450. Bwana Spika, kwa hivyo hizi hela, na kwa sababu sisi kazi yetu kama seneta ni kulinda na kutetea gatuzi zetu, tutalindaje na kutetea gatuzi zetu ikiwa jambo la kwanza hatutatetea rasilimali zilizo katika kaunti zetu? Bwana Spika, na vile vile hela ambazo zinaenda katika gatuzi zetu. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, jambo la kwanza ningependa kusema ndio naunga mkono mswada huu, lakini nikiwa ninasema ya kwamba hizi hela hazitoshi. Lakini Bwana Spika, hata ijapokuwa ninatetea hela ambazo zinaenda katika gatuzi zetu, jambo la kwanza linapaswa lijulikane ni ya kwamba wakati wote ambapo unafanya bajeti ni kusema ya kwamba jambo la kwanza unashughulikia ni madeni. Bwana Spika, katika gatuzi zetu na hasa nikilenga Laikipia, kuna madeni mengi sana Bwana Spika, madeni ambayo yamewafanya hawa wanakandarasi Bwana Spika, wengine kujiua, wengine kujinyonga Bwana Spika, na vile vile Bwana Spika, wengi wao unapata benki zimenadi mali yao Bwana Spika, na ni uchungu. Bwana Spika, tumewaambia vijana wetu ya kwamba asilimia fulani ya kazi ambazo ziko katika gatuzi zetu zipatiwe vijana na akina mama Bwana Spika. Baada ya sisi kufanya hivyo kisheria, unapata tena magavana walioko katika gatuzi zetu hawalipi wale wanakandarasi ambao wamefanya zile kazi Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo unapata badala ya kuwasaidia unawaingiza katika madeni, ilhali katiba imesema ya kwamba jambo la kwanza ambalo linapaswa kufanya ni kulipa deni. Madeni hayalipi, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo wakati tunapeana ugavi wa hela hapa katika seneti yetu, tunapaswa tuangalie kabisa, tuone ya kwamba madeni ambayo yako katika gatuzi yetu yote yamelipwa, kama jambo la kwanza ambalo linatendeka, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, vile vile kwa sababu mambo ambayo tayari yamepelekwa katika gatuzi zetu ni mambo ya hospitali, matibabu, Bwana Spika. Ukitembelea katika zahanati zetu na hospitali, Bwana Spika, unapata ni safi zaidi kwa sababu hakuna dawa, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, unapata wagonjwa wamerundikana katika hospitali zetu. Si hospitali peke yake, Bwana Spika. Pengine mtu ambaye yuko hai anapaswa kuangaliwa zaidi. Ukienda katika makafani yetu, Bwana Spika, unapata ni uvundo mtupu, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu hakuna mashine ambazo zinapaswa kutumika, kwa sababu pesa ambazo sisi tunatoa hapa katika seneti na kugawa, Bwana Spika, ufisadi mtupu na ubadilifu wa fedha huko katika gatuzi zetu, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo inakuwa ni kana kwamba tunashukisha ufisadi mashinani, Bwana Spika. Hawa magavana badala ya kuwajibika, Bwana Spika, ni hivi juzi tu kiongozi wa wachache yako pale na naibu wake, Bwana Spika, wamekuwa na mkutano na hawa magavana na kuambia ya kwamba waje hapa katika seneti waweze kuwajibika, Bwana Spika. Na kiongozi wa wachache, nataka kukuambia kwamba msilegeze kamba, kwa sababu uwajibikaji unapaswa kufuatiliwa. Bwana Spika, zile gatuzi ndogo, gatuzi ya Tharaka Nithi, namuona Senator Mofaya, tulifuatilia mpaka hela zikaongezwa ambazo zinaenda katika hizi gatuzi ndogo. Lakini Bwana Spika, na vile vile Senator wa Kitui, Bwana Spika, tulifuatilia, lakini baada ya sisi kuongeza zile hela, hakuna jambo lolote, Bwana Spika, linaonekana pale katika gatuzi zetu. Si maji, upati ati mambo ya maji inashughulikiwa, si hospitali zetu, Bwana Spika, si shule za chekechea, Bwana Spika. Kila kitu kiko katika hali mbaya. Mambo yote katika kaunti zetu, Bwana Spika, yanaenda segemnege, ilhali sisi hapa tunajishughulisha kila uchao kuongea hela ambazo zinaenda katika gatuzi zetu. Bwana Spika, Senator wa Kitui, Senator wa Kilifi, tulikuwa nao hapa katika seneti mhulo uliopita, Bwana Spika. Tulikuwa na vikao zaidi ya 10, hatukuweza kukubaliana na serikali kuu kwa sababu zile hela ambazo walikuwa wakisema wanataka ziende katika gatuzi zetu, hatukukubaliana. Lakini baada ya sisi kukubaliana na hela kuongezeka, Bwana Spika, ilikuwa tu ni aibu, kwa sababu shule zetu za chekechea, Bwana Spika, hakuna madarasa, Bwana Spika. Vile vile wanafunzi na kikatiba, wanafunzi wale wa shule za chekechea wanapaswa kupewa chakula, Bwana Spika. Tumekuwa na magavana tunawaita katika kamati yetu ya elimu, na maswali ukiwauliza, Bwana Spika, hawajibu maswali yoyote. Wanakuambia wanapanga, wametenga, wanafikiria kufanya, lakini hakuna jambo lolote linalofanywa wakati huu tunaongea, Bwana Spika. Uende Laikipia, wanafunzi wa shule za chekechea za Laikipia hawana chakula, Bwana Spika. Darasa zenyewe, uende mahali kunaitwa Dodo, uende Segera, uende Nyahururu, uende Matanya, Bwana Spika, uende Ormoran, ilhali mimi hapa natokwa na mate na kububujikwa na jasho, Bwana Spika, tukiongea na hawa maseneta ndio hela ziweze kuongezwa ambazo zinakuja katika gatuzi zetu. Lakini nabaki, Bwana Spika, ni kuwa ni unampatia mtu pesa ambazo hana mpango wa kusaidia, Bwana Spika. Na akiulizwa maswali na kamati ambayo inaongozwa na Senator Kajwang', najua hata Wambua yuko katika zile kamati, Bwana Spika, unasikia wakianza kusema fulani aondolewe katika ile kamati, Charalgei aondolewe katika ile kamati, Sifuna aondolewe katika ile kamati. Kisa na maana wanauliza maswali ambayo hawataki kujibu.
kuulizwa umesema ya kwamba Laikipia maji, umesema ya kwamba maji Laikipia unawapatia watu wa Laikipia maji. Ukienda Nyahururu bwana Spika, maji imekuwa ni ghali zaidi kushinda hata maziwa. Bwana Spika, inakuwa ni rahisi kwa mwananchi wa Laikipia kuoga na maziwa kushinda kuoga na maji, Bwana Spika, kwa sababu kodi inayotozwa maji iko juu zaidi. Ukimuuliza governor, anaanza kukuambia maneno ya vijisababu, Bwana Spika. Lakini nayo serikali kuu, Bwana Spika, inapaswa kuwajibika, Bwana Spika. Ukosefu wa dawa katika hospitali zetu, SHA inachangia, kwa sababu nayo SHA ina madeni na hailipi madeni yake katika hospitali zetu. Nilimsikiza governor wa Murang'a Kang'ata akielezea kwa uwazi kwa nini shida ambazo nakumbana nazo, kwa sababu SHA iko na madeni mengi madeni mengi ambayo haijalipa katika gatuzi, Bwana Spika. Na si hospitali peke yake za gatuzi zetu, hospitali za kanisa Katoliki, hospitali ya St. Benedict pale Nyahururu, Bwana Spika, unapata serikali kuu iko na deni kubwa sana haijalipa, na bado inaendelea kuwaambia waendelee kupokea wagonjwa na kuendelea kuwatibu, ilhali SHA hailipi madeni ambayo inapaswa kuwa ikilipa, Bwana Spika. Bwana Spika, mambo ya hospitali, unapata tuna hawa ambao ni madaktari wa nyanjani, vile vile kuna wale wauguzi, na hao ndio wanaofanya kazi kubwa zaidi. Madaktari walio katika hospitali hawezi kutekeleza kazi zao bila ya wale wauguzi, Bwana Spika. Ni hivi juzi tu wauguzi wa Laikipia wamekuwa na mgomo, kisa na maana hawajalipwa marupurupu yao, Bwana Spika. Kulikuwa na nyongeza ambayo ilipaswa kuongezwa na wakakubaliana na gatuzi ya Laikipia kuwa wataongezwa hela zao. Bwana Spika, ni miezi 7 ambayo imepita na hawajaongezwa hela zao, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo Bwana Spika, ni vizuri hizi hela ambazo tukiongea hapa zinapofika katika gatuzi zetu zinapaswa zitumike kwa njia inafaa, Bwana Spika. Isikuwe ni sisi hapa kulivalia hili njuga jambo la kuongeza hela, na tunaongea hapa tunakubaliana, lakini baada ya hapo ikifika mashinani hizi hela, Bwana Spika, zinakuwa ni kutajirisha magavana na marafiki zao, ilhali wananchi ambayo walitaka huduma, Bwana Spika, hawaipati ile huduma. Wanabaki kuishi maisha ya uchochole, maisha ambayo ni ya shida tupu, Bwana Spika. Kwa hivyo, Bwana Spika, naunga mkono, nikizingatia kwamba naona maseneta wenzangu wanataka kuongea kuhusu hili jambo. Naona wakiniangalia kuniambia nifupishe ili hali nao waweze kuchangia. Bwana Spika, nakubaliana nao na nasema asanti kwa wewe kunipa fursa hii, na naunga mkono, Bwana Spika.
Haya, tuendelee na Seneta Karungo Wadhangwa.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Also, for me to weigh in on this division of revenue bill. Mr. Speaker, and for the benefit of our children who probably are watching us today as we debate on this important bill, Mr. Speaker, it's good to explain why we're here today. Mr. Speaker, the division of revenue bill is a law that explains how the country shares its revenue, or how the country shares It's monies between the national government and the county government. Mr. Speaker, we do this every year. Last year, we gave counties about 415 billion, but the next financial year, which is 2026-2027, the law is proposing that we give counties 420 billion. Mr. Speaker, this is one of the most important laws that we have in the Senate. Without this law, there is no devolution. And Mr. Speaker, this law is a lifeline of devolution. And our role as a Senate is not just to represent in theory, it is to represent in resources by prescribing how much goes to the counties so that now counties can deliver services. Because every county, when we now do the disbursement, will get a certain share depending on the population, depending on the poverty index, depending on their geographical area, Mr. Speaker. So these monies will go to serve the people. And Mr. Speaker, we need more allocation to the counties. Why? Because as I said, of course there is inflation. So it cannot be that every year we are sending almost the same amount of money, Mr. Speaker, or we are adding a little bit like we have just added now. I think counties need more money than this, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, some counties, especially Kiambu County, which we refer to as the bedroom of the capital city of our country, has so many people nowadays, Mr. Speaker. So the population growth has really gone high, Mr. Speaker. When the population is higher, we need more services, Mr. Speaker. The sewerage, we need to take care of it. Water, education, and everything that pertains to giving people a nice life in our country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, devolution is not a favor. And we have seen from the national government is now encroaching into county functions, Mr. Speaker. Instead of giving counties monies so that they can manage their own affairs, which is one of the objects of devolution, Mr. Speaker, for counties to manage their own affairs. We have now seen the president or the executive encroaching on county functions, Mr. Speaker. And I can give you an example. Example number one is what we are witnessing in Nairobi County, where the national government, through the back door, they are trying to take the functions of Nairobi County through what they are calling a cooperation. Yes, a cooperation, Mr. Speaker, is granted by the Constitution, but so is also the takeover of functions. So, Mr. Speaker, if the national government want to take over the function of a county, they must do so through the right laws, but not through the cooperation or not through the takeover in the name of cooperation, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have also seen the national government taking over functions of markets. You have seen members of parliament, they are now building markets. Instead of this money taken to the county government, so that the county, as per the need, as per priority, they put this money to where they think the market is important, Mr. Speaker. We are seeing honorable members of parliament are now being given that opportunity to build markets, and sometimes they are building markets even where they are not required. They have not done visibility study. And after even building that market, they hand over to the county. Do we go in tandem with the county's CIDPs, Mr. Speaker, when they're building this market? Mr. Speaker, the housing is a function of the county government. But what are we seeing? The county, the national executive, led by the president, every time, Mr. Speaker, they are launching affordable housing, this money should go to the counties so that counties can use this money as per the priority, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, some counties are not, their problem or their main problem could not be the houses, Mr. Speaker. As others say, kila mtu akona kwao. But maybe they do not have water. Maybe they do not have health facilities. But when we push these projects to the throats of our people, Mr. Speaker,
just in the name of I want to bring development, and yet they have not been asked these questions. There's no public participation. They have not been, the people have not requested the same, Mr. Speaker. So as we put this money, as we give these monies to the counties, Mr. Speaker, we should tell the national government, do not encroach on county functions. Do not take the county functions. Because we talked about devolution, decentralization, Mr. Speaker. But what is happening now is re-centralization, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we give these monies to the counties, we must also push for accountability. Yes, we push for more resources, but we need to demand accountabilities. And we are demanding accountability from the government. Because I always tell people, Mr. Speaker, when somebody asks me, what is the role of the Senate? And Mr. Speaker, I give this analogy for anybody to understand the role of the Senate or the role of a senator. The senator is a watchman, Mr. Speaker. If you figure out how a homestead is, there is always a watchman by the gate to see what goes in and what comes out, Mr. Speaker. So the watchman, who is the watchman, the watchdog, the person who is supposed to guard the people's resources is a senator. And that's why we ask these questions, Mr. Speaker, to the people. And I also say, what is the role of the governor? The governor is more of a housekeeper or a house girl, if you can say that. You're the one who is taking these resources as being given by your bosses to divide what to buy for the children, for the house, for the washing. But it is work of this watchman to check whether whatever has been bought is used properly, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to ask the governors, and I think this is something that we need to do as a House, Mr. Speaker, that the governors should be required to give the reports of what they do to the senators, not only to the COB, not only to the auditor, but also to the office of the senator. If I would want to know what the governor of Kiambu has done today, he should give me that information immediately, blow by blow, minute by minute, Mr. Speaker. Because what? I am the watchman. I am the person who keeps check or who checks on what the county government does, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as we pass this bill, we need to understand it is not just how much we allocate, but when we release it. Mr. Speaker, I know it is the work of the National Treasury to release or to disburse this money to the counties after we have given, we passed this law, Mr. Speaker. I know for the county of Kiambu, it gets around 1 billion every 15th of every month, Mr. Speaker. Or it's supposed to get 1 billion every month, Mr. Speaker. But the question is, does the national government release this money timely? Sometimes they wait for months before they give these monies to the counties, Mr. Speaker. And you know, when you delay this disbursement, Mr. Speaker, you are not just delaying monies. You are delaying health facilities, Mr. Speaker. You are delaying health care. You are delaying salaries. You are delaying development, Mr. Speaker. So when the national government delay even for a single day, Mr. Speaker, you will realize that the person who is most affected are our citizens in the county. Yeah, I can see now we have Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, what I want to say is that whenever the national government delays this amount, you are delaying services to the people. And you know, Madam Speaker, today we were discussing the issues of banditry that is happening in Kitui and other parts of the country. And we need to ask ourselves why some of these things are happening or what is leading to this, Mr. Speaker. Remember, every county is given money to take care of the needs of their people. So those people who are encroaching on other counties, because probably they do not have food or feeds for their animals, Mr. Speaker, their governor should be put to task. When we give money and you understand your people do have livestock, what have you done with your money, Madam Speaker? Because, Madam Speaker, we need to ask ourselves questions. And on this issue of banditry, and I think, Madam Speaker, we are giving this act a very romantic name, banditry, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker. This is robbery with violence. This is thievery. This is killing. And if the national government cannot stop thievery, and you know, I hear sometimes some people in the national government saying the opposition is not giving us an agenda. So when you hear the national government cannot end thievery, cannot end robbery with violence, and they are saying they are in power, I mean, what else can you do for the people? Because, Madam Speaker, thievery does not require research. This is the stealing of animals from one side to another. Madam Speaker, it does not require scientific research. If you cannot stop thievery, then you do not have the moral authority even to question anyone, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, as I conclude, it's good for us to understand that when we give these monies to the counties, Madam Speaker, we need also to question not only the county executive. Even, I don't know how we can do that, either it is through liaison or through sensitization, even to the county assemblies, Madam Speaker. Because county assemblies are now the bodies that are going to take these monies, and then they do budget as per the county. And if I can give you a very good example in Kiambu County, Madam Speaker. In the previous years, or in the previous financial year, or the financial year we are in, we give county of Kiambu about 13 billion to 14 billion, Madam Speaker, every year. But when you look at the budget that has been passed by Kiambu County, they pass a budget of double the amount. That's about 30 billion. And when you ask them, where are you going to get this money from? They say, we are going to get from the own source revenue. But when you look at the own source revenue today as we speak, where we are halfway, the financial year, they have only collected about 2 billion. So there's a deficit of 8 billion. So what does that mean, Madam Speaker? They will over budget, they will over promise, they will over project, they will over give these contracts. That's why we will always be having pending bills. Now we have Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. That's why we have pending bills. Mr. Speaker, you know, people do not understand when we talk about billions because they do not even have a shilling. So sometimes when you say billions are stolen, they have no idea how much has been stolen, Mr. Speaker. But, Mr. Speaker, I want you to do the math, Mr. Speaker, for you to understand how much money is 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, if I was to give you 1 billion today, I wish I can. If I was to give you 1 billion today and tell you to use 10,000 per day without repetition, Mr. Speaker, it will take you 274 years before you finish 1 billion. Mr. Speaker, that is how much money we are sending to Kiambu County every month. So when we ask questions how this money has been used in Kiambu County, it's because we understand how much money we have sent to the county. Because, Mr. Speaker, if we give 12 billion or 13 billion per year, Mr. Speaker, then you multiply 274 by 12. That is about 2,000 years. So the money that we give, Mr. Speaker, to the counties is so huge. If it is well used, if there is a good prudent use of resources, Mr. Speaker, these counties will always put the needs of the people first. All our people will have a better life if this money is used, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, I always say, the moment the people of Kenya will realize a good governor is better than a president, Mr. Speaker. A good governor in your county, even before you think of a president, think of a governor. Because that is the person who is on the ground, who has been mandated to take care of your health, Mr. Speaker. And, Mr. Speaker, I don't even know why we give governors health. We trusted them with our health, and we never trusted them with our education, Mr. Speaker. That is a question that we need to ask ourselves. Mr. Speaker. But what I'm trying to say is that before you even think of the president, think of the governor. Because when you talk about health, it's the governor. When you talk about the childhood education, it's the governor. When you talk about the roads that you use every day, it's the governor. When you talk about agriculture, and that's why people are fighting because of food of their livestock, Mr. Speaker, because the governors in their areas have not probably prioritized the issues of feeds for their livestock, Mr. Speaker. So as I support this bill, I request this House, the next thing that we should have, Mr. Speaker, is that we make sure we put the governors to task. Oh, we have changed the Speaker again. Madam Speaker, what we need to do today is to task the the governors to showcase what they have done with their monies. And Madam Speaker, we need the senators to be facilitated to do this audit. Because yes, we do have CPAC and we do have CPIC, but they are the morticians, Madam Speaker. They check on audit report that has already been checked by somebody else. So if the governor is able to talk to the auditor, well, we will never have any question to ask. Sometimes it takes a year to ask the governor a question because you are waiting for the audit report. Yet there are some questions that we can ask in time, minute by minute, Madam Speaker. And if the Senate is facilitated properly, because I have 60 wards, Madam Speaker, and for 60 wards, for me to walk every ward and with my team, if I give one ward one day, those are 60 days. And then I'm supposed to be here almost every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way to Friday, Madam Speaker. So we need to enhance our teams so that as we are defending our people on the floor, we have a proper team that is also working and checking to find out whether whatever the governor is promising is what is on the ground or in the ground, Mr. Speaker. Because we have heard of what we are checking. The governor of Kiambu has been on record saying that he has built 527 ECDs. If you are to divide that, that is about 10 of them per ward. So, Mr. Speaker, Madam Speaker, that is the work of the Senate. Now to walk around to find out whether is it true what the governor is saying and what is on the ground and what is in the budget and what is in the CIDP. With all that, we'll be able to give the people a report and give the governor a scorecard of what he has been doing, Madam Speaker. So with that, Madam Speaker, thank you very much. I've had the honor of addressing the House in the presence of 3 speakers. Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Senator Veronica Maina.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my colleague on the Speaker Chair, for the opportunity to speak into this very important bill. Honorable Speaker, the Division of Revenue Bill 2026 is a very critical legislation without which it would be impossible for the revenue to be shared between the county governments and the national government. Honorable Speaker, in this Division of Revenue Bill, the object and the purpose of this legislation is very clear. The purpose is to provide for the equitable sharing of revenue raised by the national government among the national and county levels of government in 2026-2027 financial year, and to be done in accordance with Article 2021 and 203(2) of the Constitution. Honorable Speaker, it is important to note that the revenue that will be allocated to county governments under this bill is 438,293 million. Honorable Speaker, that is a marginal increase of 1.2% from financial year 2025-2026, which had county governments allocated 427,894. Let me say this, Honorable Speaker, and I want to fully agree with the committee that has worked on this bill and collected the views of different stakeholders, that the marginal increase of 1.2 is definitely not sufficient. And I want to agree with them. It's not sufficient enough to address the growing expenditure that is at the county level. And I want to cite an instance which happened yesterday in Murang'a County, where the ECD teachers were having a demonstration against the county government and against the governor of Murang'a County. And this demonstration has happened on different occasions because the ECD teachers have not been given the terms that they were supposed to be given as a workforce that is taking care of a very critical component of basic education for our children who are at ECD level. That's the very basic, the very young children whom they are entrusted with, almost like parents, to take care of these children and ensure that they have a foundation for good education. It is unfortunate, Honorable Speaker, that my county has not been able to adequately take care of such a critical workforce within the county. But when I look at this marginal increase to 438 billion, as opposed to 415, which was initially given, then, Honorable Speaker, I see troubled times even ahead. And unless the counties are very, what would I say, unless they are very efficient in the management of the resources that are placed in their hands, these issues will continue to trouble these counties. We will have doctors continuing to riot, or medical staff being very dissatisfied with the terms that they are being given, while in actual fact, the functions that have been assigned to county governments, the work, the resource, the human resource required to carry out this function should be taken care of adequately within the budget or within the resource allocation so that we have efficient delivery of service at the county level. So, Honorable Speaker, I would urge the county governments in an efficient decision-making or rationalization of how they do their budgets. They must take very good care of the staff who are supposed to offer or give service delivery at county level. Because the service at county will be as good as the workforce and the human resource that is entrusted with carrying out those functions. Honorable Speaker, it's unfortunate that many Kenyans view devolution as not so much as a devolution for resources. They view devolution as something that has devolved corruption or devolved bad practices or devolved inefficient service delivery. I hope the Council of Governors can for once do a retreat, do a strategic planning, and see how they bail the cat. Because perception must change around devolution and around the efficiency of our counties, Honorable Speaker, using the resources that are available. And now that we have a constraint of resources, which is not, I do not think this is the first country or the first time that governments have worked with constrained resources. Within the resources that are devolved to the county, we now must demand from county governments that we must see efficiency in certain fronts, and there should be no excuse of having bad service, especially when it is critical to the human rights of the people, it is critical to issues like health, it's critical to issues like education, Honorable Speaker. So even before I complain loudly about the marginal increase of 1.2% of the baseline of what has been assigned to or allocated to county governments, I must say efficient use of whatever resource the county gets, be it 1 billion, be it 7 billion, be it 15 billion, or be it 30 billions. If you are inefficient with 1 billion, as a county, you'll be inefficient with 30 billions. And there is no way you're going to convince us that if you are added a bigger chunk of this national cake, you're going to be more efficient because now you have more money which you're swimming in. That will not work. So they must come up with a strategy of curbing wastage, cutting down on corruption, getting efficiency into place so that as we come to argue the case for a better increase of the percentage of resources allocated and assigned to the counties, we will at least be able to justify and say we have seen very efficient allocation or utilization of the resources. Honorable Speaker, when you look at the own source revenue that is collected by county governments, you know, some county governments even have national parks within their jurisdiction. We need to see how much is a county able to raise. I will never forget one of the counties visited in California, the Dade County, Honorable Speaker, where we found that government has much more money than they would ever need. Budget is not their issue. They look at where they can expend their excess revenue. We want to see counties within the Republic of Kenya, counties that are well endowed, setting an example of what other counties should do with own source revenue. Accountability in collection of that revenue, accountability in expenditure system of that revenue, and efficient use of those resources. If we look at the health sector right now, Honorable Speaker, certain levels of hospitals have been given an opportunity to utilize the resources that are being collected from within those health centers, Honorable Speaker. If right now you call for audits and accounts of how that own source revenue, where the county government has been given the latitude to collect and expend, you will be shocked that maybe 80 or 70% of that income or that revenue has been wasted at county level with expenditures that are not explainable. It should be a very big shame, Honorable Speaker, for any county to come back, like one of the counties, and the senator is right here, which once reported that they bought fingerlings, they purchased fingerlings, put the fingerlings in the river, and they could not account for the number of fingerlings they had bought, Honorable Speaker, or they had purchased under the project they were having. It must have been an attempt at fish farming within the Mount Kenya region. Honorable Senator Mwenda Gataya could give us the whole story about how those fingerlings went about and how the river swept away those fingerlings. County governments must now look at projects where they will be proud, Honorable Speaker, to account to the public on how those resources have been spent, Honorable Speaker. And when we look at what is being allocated, and as we say that we devolve all the functions under the Constitution, Schedule 4, as we look at how we can empower the county governments more to do more, they must do better and they must meet the needs of the people. There are some counties, Honorable Speaker, like Turkana, which are disadvantaged and have, as a result, been allocated more resources. The other day we had Senate Mashinani in Turkana County. Honorable Speaker, when you get to that county, you wonder and worry about where those resources were assigned to. Because you cannot, the road you find there, you are told this was done by the World Bank. Then you're asking yourself, so can we see what the county government has been doing? And you almost can't catch any tangible projects that the county government has done. Yet, what I hear, Honorable Speaker, from many governors within the counties is a cry for more resources. Honorable Speaker, do you remember just a few days, the governors declined to come and give accountability of the utilization of the resources from within their counties. And there was such a showdown between Senate and Council of Governors as they tussled and looked for ways of how they could avoid a constitutional obligation of coming to answer queries that are raised by Auditor General, not raised by just anybody. Accounts done, reports done, accounts had qualified. And a governor is called to Senate and has the temerity to say, we think some of the senators are not acting up to the standard that's expected of the Constitution, so we are not going to meet our constitutional obligation. That did not look good at all. Indeed, It appeared as though if you can't explain it, it means most likely you could be guilty of something. That's why you are afraid to face any question or to answer any queries on the audit accounts. And the explanation that was given, Honorable Speaker, up to date, I am not satisfied with it. If a governor feels they have been extorted, the question is, did they pay? Where did they find that money? If they paid Senator A or Senator B, why can't you present that evidence to EACC so the issue can be resolved once and for all? Or why would you, as a governor, if you think somebody or a senator is extorting you, why would you fail to raise that issue with the Senate itself and say, I have been demanded to present 5 million or 2 million so that the issue can be canvassed and resolved? Avoiding your constitutional obligation as a governor to account for how you have expended resources would not help. So, Honorable Speaker, I have risen on my feet to first support this bill and to also say, Honorable Speaker, that counties, you need to perform better to justify bigger budgets. Counties, you need to account for the revenue that is being collected, on-source revenue that is being collected from the counties. And the mindset has to change, Honorable Speaker. First of all, Madam Speaker, why would a county that is so endowed with natural resources not have innovative ways of raising income? I have traveled in some of the countries, Honorable Speaker, and I remember one place where we went to a shop where a gospel hymn has been sung. And Honorable Speaker, I found a little shop which is selling paraphernalia on just one song, Just As I Am, Honorable Speaker. And out of it, a lot of revenue is being collected. Honorable Speaker, I have always asked myself, do we not even value our historical sites? If in your county you have the Fort Jesus, why are we not having a whole range of something happening around Fort Jesus that by itself becomes a revenue, a source of revenue for that county? Do we have people or do we have managers at the county who are so fixated on having to utilize the division of revenue, this DORA bill, so that they receive money from the national kitty, but they cannot utilize the resources within their own counties, Honorable Speaker? I believe we need to do more at the county level, be more innovative, use more professionals, use more technical people to give you ideas on how counties can raise the revenue so that the hue and cry of the national cake not being enough can be supplemented by people who are thinking through what is the resource in your county. Before you look at what the national kitty has, what is it that you are doing to improve your own source revenue? So, Honorable Speaker, I would say in some counties we have very lazy managers, people who are not wanting to think through, people who are not taking strategies to actually generate income until they are lending the national government some funds. I'm told by older people that in 1978, in Murang'a County, the county, it was then a city, I think it was a municipal council, it had lent the national government money. Honorable Speaker, can you imagine that? Murang'a County, the size of Murang'a, then it was Murang'a District. It was lending to the national. Do counties know that some of the counties are so well resourced that a county like Narok should utilize Masai Mara to the extent that they are actually lending another county resources? A county like Busia, which is a food basket for this nation and generates a lot of maize, and I stand to be corrected because I know, Madam Speaker, the last time I checked with you, you were a farmer. And I hope it's not a telephone farmer. I hope it's a real farmer. You can confirm to this nation.
Order, Senator Veronica. I am a real farmer.
You can confirm to this nation that actually Busia County is a food basket in this county. Kirinyaga County, very well endowed and resourced, having some of the best coffee. Just the other day, Nandi County, I thought Murang'a County, the coffee was the very best of the best. But I have found that coffee being competed by coffee that is being grown on the rocks of Nandi County. Senator Cherarige is not here, but I'm sure he's watching this, streaming of these proceedings. Honorable Speaker, counties must wake up now, so that the next time we are discussing the Division of Revenue Act, the DORA, Honorable Speaker, we will be proudly presenting, or even if it's a footnoting counties that may not even require any resource allocation from the national government, because they have requested national government to help some of the counties that might need help, because they appreciate that the counties are very well endowed. Look at Lamu County, Honorable Speaker. I have visited many countries which have a beachfront. Nothing beats the beauty of, the scenic beauty of Lamu County. This nation is endowed. What we need are managers who are like the Josephs of the Bible, who can pick up a season of plenty, put the resource together, package it in such a way that during the time of scarcity, that resource can be utilized within that county. So I want to challenge all the counties, beginning with Lamu County, Mombasa County. The beauty and the scenes within those counties, Honorable Speaker, those are not counties that should almost need anything. But since for the time being, the act is not together, then let's utilize what is devolved down to the counties in a better fashion that we have done, and let's allow these counties to become. In fact, Honorable Speaker, if we can utilize the tourism, the advantage and the opportunity that is within Lamu on tourism, manage the insecurity, ideally Lamu County, no young person in Lamu County should be without an occupation or a job. Same case with Mombasa. A lot of them could be taken in within the tourism sector, Honorable Speaker. I have still not understood, and you'll forgive me for using this as an example. I have still not understood how Kenya has been overtaken by other nations who are our neighboring countries in the tourism sector. Kenya has always been high-flying in matters tourism, attraction, in matters of hospitality. It's the Kenyans who run the hospitality industry in the countries that are around, and it's very good for integration of the region. But I'm calling upon the counties to manage the resources better, utilize what is available within those counties, the resources, God-given resources, and the endowments that we have within the counties, and commercialize what needs to be commercialized, because we have the resources. It's just that we don't know how to use it. Blue economy, Honorable Speaker. You know, countries like Norway, Honorable Speaker, they even have a federal reserve that, Honorable Speaker, a sovereign reserve, which is in excess of any money they will need for many years. Honorable Speaker, we have the ocean here in Mombasa. We have the ocean here in the coastal. We are a coastal state. How are we utilizing the resources within the blue economy sector? Honorable Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg.
Senator Mazayo.
Asante sana, Bi Speaker. Pia mimi nataka kujiunga na maseneta wenzangu, ndugu zangu wote ambao waweza kuweka maoni yao katika huu mjadala wa ugavi wa pesa zinazokwenda katika serikali zetu za mashinani. Bi Speaker, tunaweza kuona kwamba katika sheria zote ambazo zinaonyesha kazi ya seneta ni nini, Speaker, kazi ya seneta ambayo ni muhimu imekadiriwa ndani ya katiba ya Kenya na ni kipengele cha 96 katika sheria ya kwanza mpaka mwisho ambao ni 4. Speaker, katika sheria hizo cha umuhimu zaidi ambacho tunaweza kufananisha ni kwamba unaweza kuvaa koti na tai na shati vizuri na ukavaa socks na viatu vizuri sana na ukakosa kuvaa suruale na ndani ukuvaa kitu, utakuwa unatembea tuputupu. Hiyo ndio kazi ambayo senators wanaifanya hapa ndani. Na haya yote ni kwa sababu ya kwamba umuhimu wa hili bunge letu la Senate ni kupigania kuona ya kwamba pesa zinazopatikana kutoka serikali kuu zikiletwa hapa ndani. Hapa ndani ndio ugavi wa pesa zinazokwenda katika serikali zetu za mashinani, zote 47 katika Kenya. Na ni ukweli kabisa ya kwamba kaunti zote 47 zinapata mgao wake kutokea hapa. Hakuna kaunti hata moja inayosema haipati pesa kutoka ndani ya bunge la Senate. Speaker, si uongo tukisema kwamba pesa zinatumika vibaya katika serikali zetu za ugatuzi. Jambo la kusikitisha ni kwamba seneta anapotamka hivyo anaonekana yeye either anapinga ama hatetei gatuzi lake, lakini hiyo sio sababu. Mimi nataka kusisitiza ya kwamba
Order, Senator Gataya, please.
Ya kwamba
I think you're getting out of order. Please don't speak loudly in the house while a member is contributing. Thank you.
Asante Speaker. Nataka kukubaliana ya kwamba katika mhula wetu wa huu wa mhula wa 12 tuliweza kugoma kwa sababu kulikuwa na pesa kidogo sana. Hapa tuliweza kuvaa matai, tuliweza kuweka vitambara vyeupe, tuliweza kufanya fujo sana, na ndio tukapitisha vile tulipitisha kwa sababu ya kwamba walikubaliana. Sisi tuko na haki ya kusema pesa hizo za ugatuzi ni lazima zifike katika serikali zetu ili zilete maendeleo kule nyumbani. Hivi sasa tumesema serikali zetu za ugatuzi ziongezwe pesa zifike bilioni 454, Speaker. Ilhali bunge la kitaifa kwa upotevu wa kukosa kuelewa ni shida gani zinakabilia serikali zetu za mashinani, wao wameketi kule, hawahusikani kabisa na mambo yanayoendelea katika serikali za ugatuzi. Ukiangalia zaidi ni kwamba wale wabunge kule wako busy na CDF yao wakitaka kutengeza maskuli, vitu ambavyo wanajitambulisha wao wenyewe. Lakini sisi hapa tuko na haja ya kuona ya kwamba serikali zetu za ugatuzi zimefaidika, na ndio sababu tukasema tunataka bilioni 454 zipelekwe katika serikali zetu za ugatuzi katika mashinani. Kwa hiyo tunataka kuambia tu ndugu zetu ya kwamba hii hesabu mliotufanyia sio hesabu tunayoitaka, na sisi ya kusema kwamba watapeleka bilioni 424 ilhali sisi tunataka bilioni 454, tunasema hiyo yao ni kidogo na tumeikataa. Speaker, ukiangalia hivi sasa hata madaktari wengi sana ambao wako huko nyanjani hawajalipwa pesa zao. Mahospitali yaliyoko huko mengi yao hayana dawa, na vitu vingi vinaendelea ambavyo haviendi kisawasawa. Hali hii tunataka kuangazia zaidi ya kwamba wakati kukiwa na fujo, serikali zetu za ugatuzi zinapata tabu kwa sababu huwa na maafa. Kama hivi sasa tunaona ya kwamba kule Bispika, tunaona ya kwamba kule Kitui watu wanakufa. Hata hivi sasa tukiwa tunaongea, Bispika, hivi sasa ambavyo tunaongea saa hii, iko ripoti imekuja hapa kwa upande wa runinga, upande wa simu zetu za rununu. Vita vinaendelea, damu ya Wakenya inamwagika saa hizi. Ukiangalia wengine walileta ngamia zao, walileta ng'ombe wao, walileta kuja kukula mahindi ya watu, walifanya bidii. Mtu ekari karibu 50 zinaliwa na ngamia. Watu wanakuwa na hasira, wanaanza kupigana. Kwa sababu gani kitendo kama hichi kinatendeka? Na wale waliokuja kuingia katika yale maeneo si wale watu wanaishi katika hayo makazi ya Kitui, ni watu kutoka sehemu zingine.
Senator Mazayo, would you like to be informed by Senator Wambua?
Yes, he's at liberty to inform me. He's my deputy, so I cannot say no.
You may.
Thank you very much.
Senator Mazayo. It is posed, Senator Mazayo.
Thank you, my leader, for allowing me to inform you. Madam Speaker, I want to inform the Senator of Kilifi and the House that actually the situation that is describing, obtaining now, is not the entire Kitui County. It's happening in Mwingi town. As you speak now, Madam Speaker, you know, earlier I raised a statement here on that conflict in that county. People have blocked Mwingi Garissa Road in Mwingi town. I have